Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jordan knows things too, I think.
No, I was just
Okay, well,
saying
get the
words.
fuck out of here, buddy.
Oh, I apologize.
We're going. We'll let this be the intro. So welcome in, everybody. Two drinks in.
We gotta
this
do a
is.
chink. We gotta. Okay, don't take
That's
that.
right, though. That was part of the.
Don't take it racistly.
Yeah, don't take it
Years ago, that was the tradition. Cheers, everybody.
It wasn't a racist word. It was an onomatopoeia, first of all. So let's not get that mixed up.
Oh,
He's making sense.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Cardi.
oh, I got your phone right
Cardi.
here, Jordan.
Cartier. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's the old phone for.
Oh
me.
yeah, this is. I left it here on purpose.
Yeah.
It's the demo phone.
Oh, word. Yeah, it's a spy on me.
Yeah, it's just, no. It's off. It's dead.
You
Like,
got the bat sonar going on.
Oh
That
shit! Yeah, they got a spy. Fucking is that like a tracker device you got in here?
Why would I use a dead? I mean, maybe shoot. who
Why
knows?
would you not?
Yeah. If it
FBI.
was,
Maybe it's not the phone
If it
itself;
was
it's the
what I
device
tell the
inside the
truth.
phone, separate from the phone.
Precisely.
just hidden.
exactly.
Use your fucking imagination here.
Is it even a
I
phone?
don't have one. It died.
You're well.
Nah, I'm just playing.
Well, the statistics indicate otherwise that is not in fact the case.
Okay, maybe not. But
I'd love those.
going back
Sometimes.
to yeah.
My lovely
Going
lady
back to what we
Hobbs.
were talking about earlier. What were we talking about? The donor. The
Yeah,
donor.
the sperm
thing.
donor. So
Sperm donor situation. Yeah,
Okay, let me-
big opportunities in
let-
this.
yeah,
Big
let-
sperm is booming right now.
let me lay it out for you, right? So, as we know, biologically, a man can produce as much sperm as he wants in his limited lifetime. Oh, Jesus. After fucking puberty
we
until
went close.
death does he part from life. Okay, so,
Right.
a woman, on the other hand, they got to select a amount of eggs. I want to say it's like in the few hundreds. I don't know how many times they bleed out the vagina, but until menopause, you got one or two a month or whatever,
Right.
But like, of course, they get paid like up to 10 grand for one of those eggs because it's a whole fucking operation.
Yeah,
They
makes
get paid
sense.
big bungos. A man can go and jizz in a cup, make a few $100 each time. And I just got to wonder, I've never really looked into it, like, how does that whole process work? You got to be like healthy. You got to
Right.
do like tests and shit. And you got to be wanted because I have seen this article like where there was like this.
you
There was
got to
this-
be the perfect genetics.
Well,
You got to
well-
be a specimen.
Well, there was this one place. It was like it was an article from some years ago, and it was like, we're stopping accepting gingers like from giving us sperm because there's just too many gingers jizzing on our cups.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, well, okay, we're definitely not one in the gene pool, even though we keep on lurching ourselves into every gene pool.
It's modern eugenics, bro. They start with Planned Parenthood,
trying to
and they
control
make
it.
it all the way to the jizz, the
trying-
jizz industry.
They're trying to control who is having babies and stuff and such and whatnot. But let's think of the ethical implications of that situation. So say you do donate a lot of jizz, and I'm talking a lot of jizz. You are jizzing it once a week for these people for some reason. You're desperate for fucking cash.
It's a blue collar job right there.
It is. It's a side. You go in like
It turns into a white collar job.
I don't know if they
after a
give you
while.
lotion or if they give you like a fucking a little flashlight or
White
something to jizz
collar
into.
job, bro.
Like how do they do it? But like you do that a few times a month. But how many fucking babies are they making with your sperm? Are they?
Right.
I mean, they're
like
not
per
just
container.
they're not
Is
just
it-
making babies. They're also studying it. I believe there's also some parts of that happens. But like
Yeah, maybe selling it off to other companies and whatnot. Other
precisely, they're making a master race of gingers, which is fantastic. But what the implications? Let's say you end up fucking producing 100 children, you don't even know them, they don't even know you, and you could have a 50-50 chance of like them being complete pieces of shit that you brought upon the world, or complete good pieces of shit that you brought upon the world. So like,
the only other people,
Would you
the only
be okay
other
with
person who's ever been like on that level is Genghis Khan. He has so many children he fathered, didn't even know him, just plundering across the not Middle
a
East,
massive
China, dude.
chunk
That's crazy.
of descendants across like all of Central Asia and really all over Asia.
Yeah.
To fucking be honest, like even into the Middle East.
That means that there's a chance for us to be on Genghis Khan's level.
And that's actually absolutely.
That's not even what I was. Wait a minute. So you mean?
That's kind of sick.
But do you do it? Would you do you do it knowing those risks?
No,
Like,
dude. That sounds like a moral
But
like
you never have to
dilemma.
pay for 'em, you never have to
man-made
take care of
horrors
'em.
beyond our comprehension type shit. I'm
like
not
donating
down- I'm not down
sperm
for
and
that.
having inadvertently making a bunch of children.
Doing it once, bro. I mean, like
You're
that-
helping people out. But here's my worry.
I mean,
like,
you could
it
also
ends up-
donate blood plasma for the same price, and that's not nearly as weird.
Really?
Yeah, no,
But don't you need
$200
that?
per like donation. But you do it, like once every couple months, or no, once a month maybe. You don't. It's not a weekly thing that you can do.
I don't know.
You have to
is
rebuild it back
that.
up,
I mean,
and you have to have like a healthy diet. You know, you can't have AIDS, all that shit. You got to be like in good health, basically, in order to donate like that. And I'd say
like,
it's probably the
exercise and
same
shit?
thing for like sperm donation and everything too.
you gotta like eat fruits.
They
and
don't.
shit?
They don't. Yeah, you got to have a relatively healthy diet.
Or like clean, like
Jesus, dude.
maybe they tell you about like your
Wait
like your
for 'em on that
sperm
real
density. Like what's they say like nowadays like our sperm count like sucks or whatever. All the soy or whatever in our
Yeah,
in our
no, there's a
testicles.
lot of processed foods, all the fast food that we're eating.
So how do you even be
a lot of other
candidate at
things?
this point?
Vaping, bro,
Like,
drinking.
Yeah, like I mean I can't imagine doing any of that shit.
Nah, dude, that'd be wild, man. Beyond,
Wow.
beyond me, bro. It beats me.
But one thing I'm thinking about that's crazy is the idea of,
for that.
especially
Another
if you know yourself. So if you have like hundreds of kids that are potentially yours and you never know, knowing what you're capable of, like you said, there's a 50-50 chance that they turn out to be a psychopathic maniac or they turn out to be one of the greatest people ever. I don't know. That's just
People like to
about.
think
It's a
that's
gamble you
nature
take.
versus nurture and something, but like I think that whole thing is nature and nurture, not
mean, yeah.
like a versus thing, bro. It's nature of you, but like if you were in a different environment, you'd be raised differently,
Right.
but you'd still have certain characteristics that you always will never like give up on, and that's not like the physical thing. It's like the whole mental behavioral
Yeah.
type thing. It's part of because your brains are wired in a physical way. It's not it's your brains are wired in a physical way. I can't word that any differently. But yeah,
that makes sense,
like
though.
you're always gonna have like a certain thought process, I guess, on certain things, even if you are raised in a different environment.
I think that kind of ties into like
Cut
What
off
if you just want
somebody.
to pass off your DNA? Like you know you're never gonna like lay with a woman, you know, and make babies with a woman because you're just insufferable. You're like, well, I guess I'll just give it a bunch of random desperate women. They're in bad situations. You know?
What?
yeah, that's
Yeah, damn,
I could
you know,
see
it's
that, but
working
that's
out
not
women for me
really
right
a
now. I mean,
good
I guess I'll just
thought process.
let them get pregnant, you know, with
Yeah.
with a turkey baster or whatever the fuck they use.
Turkey baster.
I guess that's what they fucking use. I don't know.
You gotta pop it in the oven for a
Sperm
little
really
bit.
just can be like basically frozen and just be chilling. That's crazy. Those
Cryogenic.
they call them haploids or whatever, right?
Haploids.
Yeah,
I've
people call it
I've never heard
haploids.
that. That sounds like a
it's the
that's a sci-fi alien race, bro.
Well, you could be right. They basically
Haploids
are,
from
like,
planet
you
Grengar.
got, I mean, think about it. You got like little tadpoles in your testicles right now. You got millions of tadpoles in your testicles right now.
Yeah, they're all swimming, and they're all microscopic too. You have to have
I mean,
a microscope. To
is
see
there
it,
any
but-
sentience in those things? I mean, probably not. But like,
No.
it's
It's
one
crazy
cell.
because like they are like the size of a cell, but if you look at an egg, like an egg is like hundreds
Fucking
of
massive.
Yeah, it's hundreds of times. So the size of a cell. So like it's crazy seeing that size discrepancy, and it makes you wonder
Why is the size so
Yeah,
big? I mean,
why is the size so big? Why is it so big?
well, I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, you know, like,
Does it have more of the baby in it?
well, if you think about it, like you have half of each parent's DNA, but you are more your mother because that's where you incubated. That's where you got all your nutrients. That's where you got all your hormones and shit.
Right.
Your mother is the one that made you. You know.
Yeah.
Like the egg cell really has to do a lot more work. You know, the sperm is more like a key. You know. Because you just need the key to get it started. You know, this is what we're gonna roll with. This the recipe. You know, but the cell is the egg is the kitchen. You know, which is why women are so good at the kitchen. Well, they used to
Right.
be. You know, nowadays not so much. But Gordon Ramsay, of course, is our famous chef. I mean, you wonder why it's not a woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. But I mean, you make a good point though, because I lost that train of thought that I was about to say.
Choo choo.
But no, because it's the idea that, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like we are born in the mother, so the idea that we're made more like our mother instead of our father. But where do genes play it in the sense of like, you know, certain traits, characteristics, and things like that? Do you have more? Because
Because a lot of the genetic code is just meant for like physical traits. You can't really
why would you burp right into the microphone?
have too many different discrepancies. You're right, man. You're
But
right.
it's
Yeah.
It's not even just about the genes that you have, because all of us have the same genes.
Yeah.
What makes us different is which ones are activated.
Right.
True,
Yeah.
true,
Because yeah, you know they've got that whole square chart. You remember doing like the whole green pea fucking shit from Mandela in 8th grade or whatever?
Fucking
Howie Mandel.
Great. Is that really his first name? Howie?
That was him, yeah. Howie Mandel invented the Mandel
fact check.
gene checker that we had to do for like
Mandela,
SpongeBob SquarePants back in 8th grade, bro. That shit go hard though. Yeah, Mandela effect is whenever you carry more genes from your mom than your dad. I think that we just discovered that. That's in another universe. That is a Mandela effect.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was Howie Mandel. That's so crazy.
We're fucking geniuses right now. Fuck.
Yeah, it was probably like some guy named Gerbert Mendel or something. I don't know.
Shit.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to you, Carter. I'm gonna take a hit off this crack pipe real quick. You go ahead.
Take some crack. Now, a word from our sponsor, Crack. We're selling crack now on the podcast. I want to say thank you to Crack.
God damn.
Code Keem, get 15% off your crack. Clay.
Give me your money, bitch!
We should all just do
Where was it me?
our best Tyrone Biggums on the
God damn
on the track.
Why have you never seen a white guy named Tyrone? I wonder.
It's you know what, like,
Or Jerome.
No, I've seen
we don't
a white guy
know.
named
We
Jerome.
don't
Really? No fucking way.
He might not have been like
a white guy
entirely
named
white.
Jerome.
He might not have been entirely white. I don't know of his entire ethnicity or his background, but yeah, in college, one of our managers, our equipment managers, his name was Jerome. Cool dude.
He was white.
Yes,
Was
to
he,
some degree.
But what? Okay,
Was he
so
like
he was still kind of black.
No, not necessarily. no,
was he
not
kinda
black.
like-
I'm just saying he might have had Italian or something.
I was thinking Italian because like
Sausage.
Jerome kind of sounds like, was it with a J or a G?
With J.
With J, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with the G, that would be like Authentica Italiano, something like
You
that.
gotta watch out for the
But with a
J's.
J, you don't get me started now. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Don't get me started.
There's a lot of people out there, you know.
There's too many, I say.
Yeah. Gotta do
Yeah,
something.
there are a lot of them.
I think it's interesting. You have like, there's a clash between what we obviously feel as the powers that be that want to control the population, and a lot of them want to, detract the population, to diminish it, to ensmall the population, if you will, if you'll accept that terminology phrasing. And you have and people that are more optimistic, like we need to have more babies. Humanity is beautiful. I find myself somewhere in between the line, because as much as I love nature and want people to stop shitting all over it and all that, I also feel like people are kind of do a lot of good stuff at the same time. Like I would love for there to be 20 billion humans spread across 4 planets.
Because
Not the same
overpopulation
fucking
on Earth is like a big issue. Like scientists keep on putting the metrics out there. Oh, the Earth is going to be overpopulated in 2030, 2040. They keep pushing the number further
We just
and
hit
further
8 billion,
back.
and a lot of countries are in decline. Like China's in decline. Like all of the West is in decline. The only people that are on the up and up is still India, and also Africa is on the up and up.
Because India's never going to stop being horny. And Africa is also just adding in a lot more tech.
Well, they've always had the potential to grow. It's a fucking massive continent.
Yeah, dude, it's huge.
They're just getting more healthy. Like infant mortality is declining.
Right.
And so the billions of kids that each family is already having, they're living longer. They can, make more coffee beans. Eventually France won't be able to enslave them anymore. You see all these fucking coups they're having. They're cooing against France's control to some degree, but really a lot of them are also kind of like warlords. When you have impoverished people, that's how it works. It's more gang-related activity.
Right.
Like Italy.
Gang. Nah.
If you saw how broke up Italy was, a couple hundred years ago, you wouldn't be surprised, that they were also gang-like, everywhere they went.
If you look at the culture of Africa, a lot of the African countries have a lot less violence and criminal activities going on. Now, if you look at the pirates, there's mobs and other things, or not mafia, but there's gang activities going on. But pirates and whatnot are also looking out after themselves, because if you look at the reason that they started robbing was because of earlier on in.
Are we talking like
times.
Jack Sparrow?
No, we're not. No.
We're talking like the Red Sea.
Yeah, that's in 20 minutes. We'll put a timestamp for it. We'll talk about Jack Sparrow in 20 minutes. But
this is the tale.
it's a good song. Nah, but like a lot of the times they started robbing for their community, like Robin Hood type situation,
Like Somalia type of shit.
Yeah, because they're stealing from
And
corporations.
Yemen, I guess nowadays.
Yeah. They're stealing from corporations.
I mean, you're
and all
floating
this
like
shit.
all the commerce coming through the fucking Suez fucking canal. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! I mean,
Dude, it is a massive fucking black market out
if
there.
America wasn't so involved in like the Western Hemisphere, like what's the one we made, the Panama Canal,
Right.
would be lit up. If we weren't in the same hemisphere, that shit would be like under siege by like Middle America.
Probably, dude.
Like, Jesus Christ.
That was whenever it was built. That was an absolute massive undertaking. It created a whole bunch of jobs.
I think it's a shame we give
Brought
it
a bunch
back.
of interest.
We gave it back to Panama, like I think in the '80s, like we had this whole operation where like they had some general like we fucked over.
I could take $100 off my taxes, bro.
If you
that'd
like
be
went to go jizz at like a sperm donation center.
Yeah, dude. Like it's crazy that we just gave that shit up.
I'm serious. Like the amount of like money we were probably making off of that shit, like we just gave it over to them. It's crazy to think like Ronald Reagan was, not to get too political, but that's the greatest quote unquote democratic landslide in history, and this man kind of like went against a lot of things that are considered conservative today, but still he celebrated, like he put a lot of restrictions on guns. He like opened up some abortion like kind of rules,
Right, yeah.
and of course he gave the Panama Canal back.
Yeah,
And the
weird
whole
move.
AIDS crisis, but the guy is like celebrated as like a right wing hero. It's
Well,
interesting.
the economy did go on an upturn whenever he was in office, so that's one of the things. Like the economy got better, so a lot of Americans
Was trickle
thought
down
that a lot
proved to
of this
be
stuff was
successful?
probably not. No, not at all.
Hmm.
But it was like while he was not, because the economy rises and falls naturally, no matter who's in charge.
Every 10 years, there's like a cycle.
Yeah, basically. So like. a lot
Allegedly,
of-
it's natural.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
who's in office has nothing to fucking do
It's
with
the
that
Fed.
unless they
Who's
create
the
just
head of the
a-
Fed is really what controls the fucking economy.
Pretty much, dude. Yeah,
Shitbags.
Yeah,
mostly.
yeah. Who we elect, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Because like
it's
the
a
economy's
fallacy.
gonna do like what it wants when it wants because there's people in power who
You gotta think like voting is giving people the illusion, giving people hope.
right.
Like what they like that they can actually change things. It doesn't really fucking like enough like social influence sure can bring about eventual change, but to
Yeah.
what degree is that influence like being manipulated by media and like
Well,
all
if
these
you,
elitist people?
it's all lobbyists and everything that control that kind of shit. Because if you can influence a lobbyist, then you can influence a whole bunch of electoral collegates,
Collegiates.
people in power, basically,
so-
people who are elected into office. You
I mean,
can
as far
influence them
as
through the
like,
lobbyists.
as far as foreign policy is concerned, like, and we're getting like way too like basic political.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But as far as foreign policy, like originally that was
I am
the job
talking out of my
the job
ass
of the
right now.
president was to like be our foreign policy like leader. But nowadays we have so many different fucking agencies. We didn't have like any agencies when we first started the country.
No,
but nowadays we have so
no.
many fucking agencies, and all these agency heads. They're kind of like the ones that kind of like the head of the CIA, the head of FBI. They're really the ones that like decide
You got-
what
you got
actions
Truman
were
to
actually
thank for
taken.
that.
It probably fucking
Actually,
so.
who the
Son of a
fuck?
bitch.
FDR. You got FDR to thank for that
All,
because
like, the
he created
social
all the
policies.
Yeah, and they've
All the letter
been
people,
just
yeah.
bastardized to this point.
We got the NSA, like all these motherfuckers are really the ones that are actually making decisions. I mean, did you watch the interview with Putin that Tucker Carlson did?
I
2
saw.
hours.
I saw like. I did not watch the full 2-hour interview. I saw the
It's
ABC
interesting.
highlight on YouTube that was 3 minutes, and it was I was like, okay, that seems cool.
It's interesting, and I
Yeah.
thought to myself, like, would it have been a waste, like, or a stupid question, or would it have been a good question to ask, like, hey, what's your thought on aliens? You guys think that's bullshit, or is that our government doing some bullshit? Because it seems
Dude,
interesting.
yeah,
that
no,
only,
it'd
mostly
be-
we're reporting it.
It would be
Interesting.
fun to ask that guy's like fun questions. Yeah, what do you think of aliens? You fuck with trampolines, dude. Like,
You guys have trampolines in
how
Russia?
let's go shot for shot. Let's go shot for shot right now.
Hell,
Your choice of vodka.
If he had at
Putin.
least 2 hours, I'd
I'd
be
do
like,
that shit.
I would fucking chill with Putin.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'd be fucking kind of
spend
terrified, but like,
1 hour on the hard hitting questions, and then the other hour just be like, you fuck with riding bears, right? You got yourself a bear.
I've seen the photoshops.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Photoshop.
Shirtless.
He rides horses, and then they just photoshopped him onto like a large bear, which the bear was larger than any other. Well, actually, no, bears can get fucking big, so I wouldn't say it's larger than
I
any
feel
other
like the
bear,
reason
but,
that the interview went on that long is because he did ask like those questions, and he wanted like to give the world like his side of things, because like if it seems like there's no like coverage in the West of like the Eastern like side of things.
No,
I
they
feel like he
don't.
really
They don't.
only wanted to give that out there. So he started giving like these like silly questions.
Right.
It probably would have been like, oh well, this is not going to help Mike Guz.
Right, But that's why you gotta arrange that kind of stuff beforehand. You cannot Eric Andre Putin. You'll get drone strike immediately, dude.
I wonder, like, you could have like some Manchurian like candidate shit happen to you. Like, I wonder, like Tucker Carlson going over there, like, you know, surely he went and had the interview, but like, what if right after that turned him into like a fucking, you know, what do you call him? What happened to Alex Mason? What's the thing that they do?
The mind.
What do they call that? Not the MK Ultra, like when they sleeper agent.
Yeah,
Where they
make
turn
him
into a sleeper agent, you know, because they could easily do that to him and like scare him and do shit like that. You know, before he went and before he came back, most fucking likely he probably got interviewed by the CIA or some shit. Like, hey,
dude, yeah, no, they had to have sat him
down
down and like talk with him for a good bit, bro. Like the interview type situation where he goes to North Korea. Not Jamie Foxx, bro. James Franco goes to North Korea.
Yeah.
Like that whole situation. They probably tried to get him to do something like that, where they like, we're gonna bug you. We're gonna know everything that happens over there. We want you after the interview ask these kinds of questions, and then maybe slip him some ricin. You know that type of shit.
Now you cannot kill Putin.
No,
that man
dude.
is too smart. He was the fucking head of the KGB.
Uh-huh.
You seen that video where the guy tries to give him some gum that's like allegedly an assassination attempt, and he's like, yeah.
I mean, he's paranoid enough to avoid everything, every possible, you know, confrontation that he could have with somebody. He's paranoid enough to like avoid that kind of stuff.
I mean,
which is
would
it
he even shake
paranoia
your
or
hand?
is it intelligence? Because like I would kind of like, do that kind of shit if I was in that position. I'd be like, no, I'm not getting near anybody. No, dude. If I had that many people like hating me, just like wanting me to die, I wouldn't trust. You can't trust anybody at that point, bro. You're on your own. Like you might have like family, they could be extorted. You might have friends who are gonna backstab you. A whole bunch of shit. Julius Caesar, dude. I mean, that's that motherfucker.
Classic example. Like I feel like that and Socrates, like that's kind of like the.
And I really think that Putin is Julius Caesar.
Like where he gets fucking betrayed, becomes a martyr. I mean, you think about like Julius Caesar became a fucking martyr.
Nah,
basically.
just a great leader. You know?
Like he was a fucking that man fucking like took over like fucking like a shitload of Europe. Like they made like the Republic of Rome, like basically turned the Empire of Rome. Like he conquered like I think like 30 to 60% more territory for them. Like he conquered the Gauls. I mean, eventually they went up in the fucking the Britannicas and shit. Like, my lord, that fella.
And the Romans invented so many technologies that were lost to time after the Roman Empire fell that it baffles us to this day. We were still finding discoveries of like, oh, they had like this kind of technology. They did what with water? They did this how? Yeah, there's so much shit. You're going crazy. Help yourself.
I'm trying to get a beer here. I'm trying to reach.
No, you're good because I don't
There we
know what
go.
I'm talking about once again. So I'm just.
That's okay.
I mean, I'd never know what I'm talking about, but
what do you think about Rome, Jordan?
What's going on in Rome?
Georgia. I am very well uninformed about what's going on in Rome. I'm actually very well uninformed about all of this.
Well,
I've
so
been in my
like,
own
what
little
information do you know? Like, I mean, just in general about like Rome. What do you think about it? Like,
Have you played God of War?
Relationship to the world. Like, how does it affect the modern day world? You think?
Well,
Because they had Jesus and stuff. At one
They
point.
did, dude. The Romans had Jesus. Like that's true. Like they hated him at first, and then they came back on.
he
They were
told the
like,
truth.
ah, shit, he was kind of fuck. He's that guy.
Let me get that lime. Let me get that lime juice. Jordan, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll let you find it.
like I said, I don't know. I'm just
Here, Jordan,
honestly, I've just been chilling.
sip
I've just
on
been
this
listening.
real quick, yeah.
What?
It's happy juice, otherwise known as alcohols.
Otherwise known as Corona Extra.
You need some lime juice in that thing?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, for God's sake! Good Lord.
But you were talking about Rome.
Yeah, what were
No, I
you
was
had
not.
some interesting.
I had no interesting thoughts on Rome at all.
Have you listened to like any of like the like the other day I was watching like this video, like it was like the actual account of like explorers and shit that like went in ancient times, like went to different, like what they knew was the edge of the world,
Right.
like motherfuckers that like went to Rome from China, or motherfuckers that went to China from Rome, or like motherfuckers that explored like the ends of Africa, or like up into like the Nordic territories, or like the Vikings exploring like into the Middle East and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like their actual like stone plated like tablets and like written down like accounts of like what the people were like.
Oh yeah,
Just like
yeah.
interesting, like it had like what kind of animals they had, what kind of like how they like farm, what kind of like technologies they use to like make different products. Like
That's cool shit, bro. Yeah, no, that's finding that kind of like ancient exploration. Yeah, no, that would be insane to be
like,
back in those times.
And how many would they? How many?
That's Deadliest Warrior in real life, dude.
But think about like how like what do you call it? Like I don't know, the exploits of that. Like, why would you be an explorer? Because you go and you learn things and then you sell stories to people or some shit. I don't know, and you become like this great like explorer. I guess it's all about reputation, like building like, you know, knowledge. You kind of like, but how many motherfuckers like that were they sending out? Like imagine you're like, you know, the King Dynasty. You're like, hey, go fucking go this way. You go that way. You go this way. And they just kept telling people that like every year, like they'd send out a motherfucker, like, and they wouldn't come back for like 10 to 20 years.
They come back and
You
they
don't even know
tell
if they're
you
gonna
like
come back.
they've created their own empire.
But you don't know if they're coming back at all. Like if they just never come back, like 60 years later, like, well, I guess you don't know until like 3 decades after they're dead. Like, well, I guess they didn't come back, or they stayed wherever they were.
That is,
or they got
insane.
disabled.
Yeah, no, that would be, and dude, like you travel for miles and miles and miles. It's all the same landscape over and over again.
If you're lucky, on
repetitive.
horseback.
Yeah, dude. Like imagine being in the like Mongolian Empire, and they're like, okay, you got to cross over the desert. They got that's like what, like 5,000 miles long or whatever the fuck.
What, the Sahara?
Yes, that the one in China. That's right.
Oh, you're talking about the Gobi Desert.
The Gobi Desert. They're like, yeah, you got to cross the Gobi Desert to go on the Silk Road, and you got to sell squid ink. You got to make sure you keep it fresh, keep it on horses or camels.
You're gonna
or
run
whatever
out of
you
shit
got.
to sell.
You're gonna run out of shit to sell
Like,
real
you may
quick.
have cool gifts to get. Like,
I mean, you're constantly on edge because there's robbers, thieves, and everybody who are gonna jack you, bro. Who they fuck with your squid ink, and they're like, we want that.
They're,
So
like,
they're
jacking
gonna
your
like
squid?
shoot you with like the first gun ever made. Like that.
I don't know if they had them in those days, but like,
I
mean, the danger is like,
I mean,
they're-
Chinese invented black powder. Mongols were on bow and arrows, but I think
it was like I think it was like into like the, I don't know, like what was it, like the 12 to 1300s when they started to like make fireworks and shit like that.
I think so. Yeah, real early on. By the Renaissance, it was a little bit more perfected because I played Assassin's Creed.
And guns were around
that's
like guns were in the like 1500s. I want to say when they first came around.
probably like modern muskets and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like,
But they had black powder for fireworks, and they eventually, I mean, if as soon as you create something, someone's gonna figure out how to weaponize it. So as soon as they created that black powder, they were like, we got to figure out how to weaponize this. So they made cannons and stuff like that, and they had early,
like they're combining technologies.
yeah, I've seen photos of. Well, I shouldn't say photos because it sounds like someone snapped a photo of it, but back in the 12th, paintings, ancient paintings of Chinese people wielding a stick with a cannon on it that has like a fuse that they use to shoot, and that's I think it would kill them it would nowadays if you made something like that, it would probably kill you. But
I can't
like,
imagine the guns
they
were
had
too cool in those days. I mean,
Nah,
like,
it was
just shooting
not-
a musket, like a Revolutionary War like style musket, like
that's cool.
all the like the spark blowing up in your face because you got to load it from the long ass barrel.
Yeah.
and you got to like put all the flint and like all the shit right here, and it explodes in your face. Because it's got
Yeah.
they didn't have like the proper like gas ejection and like coverings and shit.
They just made whatever worked.
and it blows up in your face too. Like motherfuckers, and they basically had to close their eyes when they shot. I mean, imagine how hard hunting must have been. Like Jesus,
Oh, dude.
and the
yeah.
fact that there were sharpshooters in those days, god damn.
Plus, like the balls were made of lead, so they were just shooting their animals full of lead. And they're like, yeah, let's eat that. And they get lead poisoning, and then die. They die of dehydration from the drink that they had beforehand because they were just nothing but alcoholics back then, dude.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
They didn't know nothing about like, oh, I gotta drink water. It's a very important part of life.
But I mean, you got to think they probably knew. While we know a lot more about a lot of different shit, they probably knew a lot more about a lot of other shit we don't know about. A lot of knowledge lost to time.
The Anunnaki.
Yes, exactly. the Unagi of the island.
The Izanagi.
Yeah, Unagi Islands.
I think the Anunnaki are the ancient aliens that everybody talks about that visited the Egyptians and the Mayans.
I think I have heard that name before.
Yeah. Because they come from planet X that crosses Pluto every couple thousand years or something.
Oh, like Scientologist shit.
It's
I've heard
basically
of the Unagi, like you know the Unagi Islands.
The Unagi. This sounds like Hawaii. Like it's
No, so
Pacific.
it's like the Unagi is this giant like fish monster, like sort of thing,
Ooh.
and it surrounds the Unagi Islands. And Avatar Kyoshi lived there.
From Pandora, like the blue guy, the blue monkey,
No,
Pandora
not that
Avatar.
Avatar. No.
Okay.
Avatar Kyoshi.
Oh wait, are
The
you
lady
talking
with the fans,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, the Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Is that on Netflix yet,
No, I think it's it's in a few days though.
dude? Yeah, no.
You see the trailer for it?
I think we should watch like a hype movie.
It looks
or
a
something.
lot better than the movie,
That one movie,
which is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fucking hard to do. Like they actually kind of like keep it, you know. It looks
like
like
source
it
from
look-
the material.
It looks a lot more like kind of better, you know, in that way. But like
What if we watched that movie tonight though? Just
the
saying.
crappy one.
Yeah, let's watch the crappy one, bro.
This is not the night I want to kill myself. I think I'll save it for a
fair
different
enough.
night.
I'll watch it by myself later tonight after you guys.
Yeah,
are
you go
gone.
ahead. Go
different.
ahead, buddy. I think watching the Superman movie is. I've seen enough bad effects today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I feel you. Well, I mean, the effects weren't necessarily bad in that
they were.
original. Or in
The flying
original.
was the worst part,
Probably.
honestly, which is the
In
major
Superman,
part
it
of
was
Superman.
bad.
We're talking
Yeah.
about which one we talking about now?
So I mean, the effects in Superman were bad, but
Superman, okay.
the effects in Avatar. I keep struggling to remember the name. It's such a long name. Avatar.
They
the
just
Last
dumbed down the
Airbender.
bending. Like you know the Earthbenders, like all they was lift up a
Oh,
rock,
yeah.
and they had to do like a
The
whole
little
like
rock.
Yeah.
go, go, go.
Yeah, all that stuff. It was cool whenever they were doing the martial arts and then bending at the same time, like they're doing the intros
And what
and
about the
stuff.
fucking like the tattoo? Like why do they have to make it all cryptic looking? It's just a fucking.
That's
tattoo.
true. Yeah, that's
that was
true.
absurd.
They
I guess
did
they
add
figured the full blue arrow just looked too weird.
too little goofy or something. Yeah, it probably didn't translate well, but I mean, just make it better. I don't know, like, do it a different way. It's like-
Exactly.
Hey Jude, make it better.
yeah. Ugh.
No, we're from our sponsor.
Dude,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
drink.
yeah. Well, and back another beer there.
Yeah, I'm officially
What are we?
two
Are we
beers in.
three? Oh, yeah, I'm 2 drinks in. You fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a full 2 drinks in. I'm like at 1.5, I guess technically.
Amen.
Good cough. Cough again.
I still got the Keela in the freezer, by the way. Little Keela never hurt nobody.
It's interesting how chemistry works like that, right? You can put alcohol
Yeah.
in a freezer, and it has like a way lower like freezing temperature,
Uh-huh. It's nice,
and you
bro.
can just leave gasoline out in the open, and it'll just evaporate.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Dude, I've always wanted to play with liquid nitrogen, bro. I see the videos on YouTube, people like pouring it on stuff and freezing it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put my hand in there. Nah.
Like dry ice type of shit.
yeah.
Isn't that what dry ice is?
Dry ice is the carbon dioxide that's frozen, right? But
It's like frozen air, I guess. Basically.
But liquid nitrogen is liquid nitrogen, basically. You have to super freeze it in order to, and it's like what, negative 200 degrees or something. I had
don't
some
know.
absurd shit like
You
that.
probably
So-
gotta use dry ice to get to that temperature anyway.
probably, yeah.
Because like there's no refrigerator that's doing that.
Nah,
You got to go to Antarctica maybe in the wintertime.
or maybe at a Sears at the expensive fridge section. I don't know.
Oh yeah. The Sears aren't they like not even a thing anymore? Like I know they have that
I
tower
thought that
still.
was Staples or something. It might be
And that's
Sears.
why today's
Or-
sponsor is
Sears.
Super Freezer. No, I'm fine.
What if like when a company like shuts down, they have to like 9/11 the building? You know, like what if the Sears Tower in Chicago, like, well, this business is not working too well. It's not surviving into the recession in the newest century.
Just 9/11 it.
Yeah, like fuck it, let's just 9/11 it. Unless, what if the World Trade Center had some issues financially?
It's possible.
That disappears.
Well, didn't the owner of it take a large insurance claim on it before?
Not long before, and
Yeah.
not unlike what happened with the Titanic, which I need to read more into that theory, but that's a pretty similar theory.
Yeah.
How like there was a massive insurance policy on it, like because it was owned by J.P. Morgan, I believe, or it's something to do with J.P. Morgan.
Oh yeah, no. J.P. Morgan was the Titanic, right? Or was it the? Yeah.
It was one of those fucking big banker fuckers.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to think the corporation. 'Cause it's sailed out
Something
of.
with a J, I think.
It sailed out of a certain port or
Multiple
city.
J's, maybe?
That it was named after.
A lot of different. I think there was some J's.
There
or
was
something.
probably a couple J's involved with it.
JP.
A couple J's involved with the sinking of the Titanic
Some
and 9/11.
JPs. Yeah, man. Like,
Look, I'm not gonna
there's some
say who it
SDs.
was.
There's some Saudi Arabia is definitely involved in 9/11. But it's interesting, like, that's where they
pilots
came from.
there.
And allegedly, like the Saudis knew about it, even though like they're our biggest oil
Yeah.
benefactor. They're definitely not our ally.
Yeah.
Not unlike how like before, apparently the British knew like, the Pearl Harbor was going to happen and all that shit, and they didn't want to warn us. That's allegedly the theory. They were like, hey, we're not going to tell you this because we want you to get involved because we're kind of getting our ass whooped here. We want you to
Yeah.
help us out since you're like a lot better at economy stuff than we are, even though that you're also suffering.
Right. Yeah.
But it'll
They-
make you better. War always makes everything better. Unless it's a
It's
civil
possible
war.
that the people in power over in Japan, because how much power did the emperor necessarily have in 1940s Japan?
His fucking empire. I mean, they had taken over Manchuria, like half of China, like fucking, like into like Indochina,
Right.
like
but
a lot
is
of like
it,
the
is it the
islands
emperor that's like at power,
Korea?
the main guy? I feel like Japan would definitely have the culture to keep that kind of guy in power.
No, I mean, Hirohito
but there were
was
already
still-
powers that be to influence them in a certain way,
I mean, Hirohito. I mean, they definitely
like
they
yes men or something like that.
Yeah,
or
I mean-
whatever.
I mean, they had their technology, big fucking technology people.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably had plenty of like
The industry leaders,
even the greatest king kind of sucks the dick of like his of his money people
the person who puts money in
know,
his pocket. You know?
because they're really kind of the guys that do all that shit. So I mean, while he can like slap him around, they can also make life uncomfortable for him. And I mean, he only has comfort. And that's the only thing he has to lose. So he's probably going to be like, well, I don't like this. I look bad. That's
Yeah.
and like that's why I guess you'd be easy to manipulate,
Uh-huh.
by people like that if you're in that position.
Could it be me?
It could not be me because if you try to tell me I would look bad if I didn't fucking give some motherfuckers money, okay.
Too
I
bad.
don't care. Fuck.
I don't negotiate with terrorists.
I've never had money. I don't give a shit. Never
Mm-hmm.
had fame. I have like an inverted penis. That's all I fucking
Yeah,
have.
that's all that matters, bro.
Yeah.
Just no sex.
In the words of Kanye,
That's what Superman
you can't
movie
tell
taught
me
us.
nothing.
Superman.
That's what the Superman movie taught us.
Yo, yeah, no. Superman was telling us about industrialization.
I thought they were telling us about like don't lose your virginity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know where industrialization came from.
That's true.
Like
yeah,
you-
no. Superman 2 was
Like chase a bitch,
was-
lose your powers,
It's one hell of a movie so far.
and the world ends. I mean, what the fuck? Like,
Uh-huh.
They're really like, hey,
That's
like,
really extreme.
Yeah,
that's
Exactly
basically
what
what,
happened,
like
though.
what the hell?
That's what
Like,
happened. That's crazy.
How
that
do I
is
go back?
crazy.
Can't go back.
That well,
And how was she even worth it? Like,
no, I kind of want to see him go back though. I want to see the man come back.
Like
Maybe
what
the movie
happens?
gets good after
How does
that.
it end? Yeah, I mean it has to because otherwise the world just blows up.
Yeah,
Or it doesn't blow up, but it gets
they just,
enslaved.
dude, it's
what's-
crazy.
What's the whole point in Zod though? Like, I know like in the newer Superman, like the Zod was gonna like fucking genocide everybody, but like in this
Yeah.
movie, it just seems like he was just making the government his bitch. I mean,
He just pulls. He rocks up. So I was watching it before
Comes
y'all
to the
got
fucking
here.
White
He rocks up to the moon and he sees there's people on the moon. He goes, "All right, let's get rid of these people real quick." and it turns out they're communicating with Houston. And they're like, oh, this planet right here. This is called Houston. We got to go to Houston real quick, and we got to take it over. For no reason. They're just like, we got to rule. We're the best, bro. We're gonna take over the city. He's like Drake, basically. He's like, we're taking over your city.
What they were doing.
And he flies down to the White House, and he's like, yo, Mr. Prez, put this shit on real quick.
And
he's like, we're taking over. Okay.
It's funny when he tries to break script.
Oh shit.
When he tries to break the script or whatever, he's like, Superman, if you're out there, Superman. And it's like, you would have thought Zod would have killed him. Like, and in today's movies, Zod would have fucking blasted his brains out up on live TV. But he was like, you call me out, Superman, I'll get you. Don't listen to this man, I'll take you on myself.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it was funny because like he was screaming his name. You're gonna kneel before Zod.
Superman!
Zod! And
Superman! Zod! I'm coming for you! I'm going to come on you! This is Zod! I will lay my sword on you! Yes, I'll make you a nice lawn!
General Zod donates to the sperm bank. I'm going to get my $200, Superman!
Speaking of that,
you have nothing to stop me with!
In everything we've explored, from ancient Eastern Asia to sperm banks to the 80s.
General Zod, probably.
To Zod.
Right.
So the question still remains, would you donate to a sperm bank?
I mean, yeah, I do it once for like $200. Imagine they had a deal where, you know, like you can get a couples massage with a friend. They give you wine and a back massage at a discounted rate. What if they had the same deal for a sperm bank where they treat you, they get you candles, they pop a bottle of champagne for you.
Happy ending.
They get the best Playboy magazines that are out there. Honestly, no one's.
It's probably the old way they used to do it.
They're just like, look at whatever porn you want. You can do whatever you, or like imagine. We've also got toys for you. You can mess around with.
God damn! What the fuck? What if they were like?
It's all for a discounted.
What if they were like strict? You have to jack off in a certain way, though.
Huh?
What if they were strict about it? Like you have to jack off in a certain way,
right?
Or you got to use one of our flashlights so we can like capture it all, or you got to jizz in like a Ziploc bag. Like how do they?
Okay, so
you can't use lotion because that'll contaminate the product.
Yeah, to properly address the question, I'd still do it, bro. I don't need lotion.
You just do it one time.
Yeah, and I don't
Why
need
only
lotion.
once?
What? Just because like I don't want to be that guy who's constantly just pumping out to. I mean, it's money, but
Hey,
like
why
it's
not?
like I just want to dip my toes into
You
it
got all
real
kinds
quick.
of children though. You've made sure you're that's like the whole point of evolution. I mean, to make sure your genes go on. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's true, but like I'd rather do it from like a moral high ground than.
So if you did it one time, would you have any concerns after that? Would you be like, what if I didn't, or what if I did? Or
of course, I'd have concerns.
Should I try to find this child?
I'd have concerns about it, but it wouldn't weigh me down as much as doing it 30, 40, 50 times.
What if you jizz in the cup and like the lady's like, the thing
not impressed.
Well,
she's like, that's a little light.
What if she's like, thank you for your cum. I'm gonna keep this, stored safely. And then, she's like,
I would hope I didn't have to see that.
You gotta fill out a questionnaire, and it's like, would you want this kid to contact you if they were curious? What would you put? What would you put on there? Would you be like, yeah, if they want to reach out to me, sure, why not? It's my phone number. I may not have it in 20 years, but
good question, because I don't know. I mean, that
would you be open to that? Would that? Like, I mean, you don't know what
probably not.
You don't know who's gonna have the kids.
I don't want this person to know me. It developed their character further.
Jordan.
I don't even think I would do it to begin with.
You don't think you go? So what are your main concerns with that? Like not jizzing on a cup for a lady at the sperm bank?
I think I would just want to see and know the kid from the beginning. I don't know how I feel about the idea of a little mini me out there, and I just have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. The moral high ground, basically. You got to take that route.
I need to know.
Well, you guys can take your high grounds. I'll lose all my limbs and lay in the lava. I'm fine.
I have the high ground.
That's cool. It's still it's cool to
I'm
see
not sure
that.
I'll jizz in a cup, but I mean, hell, a few extra $1,000 here and there in a year. Mm-hmm. I mean, the way this economy is getting, shit, they can have all my fucking testicle juice. Why not?
I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
It's a compliment.
Should we take a piss break? Because I'm kind of feeling like a piss myself.
Yeah.
Well,
We're just gonna splice the gap in the audio.
yeah.
Swoop.
There we go. That's a good mark.
Up all night to get lucky. Up all night to get lucky. We come too far to get far.
If you
With,
just look right there with the light where it touches
Flat
the
back.
wall,
We're back.
and it connects to the circuitry within the inner workings of the. Yeah, right there, just right on the wall. Yeah, just a little bit to the left, and the behind you, in the not that one.
You're
The other one, right? Where
The lights
where's
are over
the light?
here. The lights are over here.
They're over here the entire time.
Over there. There we go. Ooh,
I had
dark
no idea.
mode, bro. This is kind of dope.
Oh, snap! That's kind of a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, imagine this, bro. We got the night mode podcast. We got the cool vibes. We're unleashing the nasty beast right now.
Are we
What
back
does-
in? Is this? Is this the
I clapped us back in
What the
a little
fuck?
bit
Wait,
ago.
what the-
I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit of editing trickery
Yeah.
to
Okay.
get it looking pretty smooth. But you know, we're back.
I think I might have left my beer outside.
And I still got beer.
I didn't have much left.
I still got beer lifted up over here. So
I
I'm
guess
gonna.
I can leave real quick and come back.
Yeah, no, no, we won't miss you. It's fine.
Okay.
Get out of here.
That's what I'll do.
Get out of here, dude.
Then fuck it.
Me and Jordan are gonna start the conversation.
Yeah. Have a nice conversation up here about George Bush.
Have you paid your taxes yet? Your W-2s?
No,
Me neither.
I gotta do that. I gotta do that, and then I gotta do the other stuff for that, so that I get it.
Yeah.
For that, so I get it back. So then when I flip it, I can.
You're gonna have what, like 2 this year
Yeah.
for like Panda?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to air this out, but
Yeah, I gotta get-
no,
I
I'm,
got that-
not
I got-
gonna ask the question I was gonna ask. Never mind. That's right.
I don't think I was there long.
I doubt the IRS is gonna listen to this podcast, but
Maybe in the deep future.
yeah, this might come back for you. I was gonna,
Yeah.
I'll ask you after, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I,
What's your social again?
yeah, my social security number is
Ooh, encrypted language. I like that.
Right.
yeah, no. If you run that back through the Morse code and then decipher it, it's Chinese. It will definitely
I like to use the Indian code talkers. Navajo is my favorite.
Navajo.
Yeah.
And like Sacagawea. No.
hell?
Sacagawea.
First of all,
Chicago way. Sacagawea.
a sack of what now?
Well, you said trackers. She's like the most prolific. Well, she was more like
Prolific.
she just. I don't know if she
Holy
was a
shit.
tracker, but she walked around with Lewis and Clark, bro.
She was sort of like, hey, these people don't kill us because look at me, I'm alive. I'm with them.
Yeah, that's exactly what are you
It's
pulling
like
up?
she gets she gets them into like the crew, into the club. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, these guys are cool. They're just checking out all the shit. They just checking out the shit they just bought, which is all of you. So don't kill us, please.
Please. Were you going for a cheers right there? You had your beer pretty high above the mic for a second. Oh, that's
Well,
like
you know, we can do it now.
yeah. All right, clink.
Clink. Oh, nice, Jordan. Oh,
Clink.
clink. Good lord. I feel like
Watermelon.
Your feet are just getting off my feet.
You just
We're gonna have some issues here.
stop it on my shit.
You don't want to play footsies right now
should we
with
have
all
a
this,
fight
after
club?
all this cum talk that we were just.
Do we have a Fight
having
Club
second ago.
section of the podcast?
You want to talk about Fight Club?
No, I'm talking about like we actually just like break the podcast and then show a video of us like just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. No,
then
that's
see,
how
like-
would that work for like Spotify?
I'm gonna hop on Tinder.
Well, I mean, you have like
Spotify.
videos.
Oh, that's true.
That's where Joe Rogan is. Joe Rogan's actually going back to being able on. He's about to go back to being on all platforms again. He's about to be on YouTube again.
All right.
His Spotify thing is like exclusivity is expiring. That's interesting.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know that it was going to expire, but
Ooh,
how
another
many
match.
years has it been? Like 3-4 years?
I have no idea.
Son of a bitch. I know they paid him like tens of millions, maybe a couple $100 million. I forget. But it was definitely more than the $50 million that Dave Chappelle walked away from, as he says.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually like watched the whole story on like the Dave Chappelle like Comedy Central?
I've watched.
Like,
I've listened
fucking-
to him explain it, but I haven't watched the whole entire thing.
It is fucking ridiculous. Like they didn't give that man like any fucking money, according to him. Like, what I mean, I'm inclined to believe him because he's a comedian, and they're obviously pretty honest people.
Yeah. It is crazy though. I do need to look more into it. Dang. There you go.
Yeah, TV fucking executive.
Swiping.
TV.
Swiping on Tinder right now.
Oh my god.
I got a match while y'all were talking.
We trying to get some pictures on there?
This man.
I hopped back on yesterday. My bad. Because I've been off it for a couple months since I broke up with that one girl who also happened to be named Jordan. Not you, Jordan.
Jesus, Jordan.
But you broke my heart, Jordan. So I can't believe. Nah, dude.
Fucking asshole. Dude.
I've only been off it for a couple months, and then just like recently, because I've been out here, like I feel like there's nobody around to like go out and meet or anything like that. But I was talking with somebody, and they were like, "Why don't you just get on Tinder?" 'Cause I think I said, I think these were my exact words. Man, I've been thinking about getting some pussy recently.
Oh my
and
We're going down a different way here.
and I heard two people immediately go, "Dude, just hop on Tinder." And I was like, "You're right, bro." So I posted a pic of myself in a suit. I've been
You know
swiping.
how to work it. Yeah.
How to work it? Yeah, I'll show you guys my profile real quick. I'll let y'all
Sure,
take
about to get the inside look.
I'll let y'all take a look.
I haven't been on Tinder, and
Here's my preview. Wait a minute.
I've never been on Tinder.
Yeah.
I got banned from Tinder like a little over a year ago. I got banned from Tinder, so
Yeah, I've got that one. First, I dropped my top A. Then I
Wow.
swerved my coupe A.
Wow.
Counting all these bands A. Who the
I'd-
fuck are you
I'd
A?
fucking swipe. God damn,
That
look
right
at
there.
this fella.
Be on a rock, bro.
We on a rock.
And I'm
bro.
not talking about that crack.
I'm talking about
This
the country,
man.
you know.
And then I've got that one.
With The
That's my
Rock
last
and
one.
whatnot.
Okay.
Just those four.
Balboa.
My bio is job, car, money.
just marketing himself.
that's what I
Job,
got.
car, money.
That's what I got.
Transportation.
Bio
income.
professional rapper. Oh, and I put Carnival on it for my my Spotify anthem.
Does it? I mean,
Because like back whenever I what
have you find much success on there?
I've gotten since yesterday just two. I matched with one
God damn.
and then another one
That's
like
pretty good
myself.
rate, though.
And
Yeah,
I'm doing this
for
at
me.
9 o'clock
Yeah.
because I remember 9 o'clock is like prime hours.
That's
for,
what
like,
they
Tinder,
fucking
you know?
say.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they just say that so you'll be on there, but I feel
Yeah.
like
Well, I mean, if girls are stupid and they listen to Tinder
And I don't
they buy
respect
into
them.
it, so yeah, I don't respect women. And you don't need to. You don't really need to respect
I don't
women.
really
Just
respect
respect yourself.
anybody.
That's. I've got good morals, bro. Why would I need to respect a woman?
I'm telling you, like, why would you stoop so low?
Exactly. Should I just play Carnival through the speakers?
Oh, we're gonna get.
Are you trying to
copyright
copyright yourself?
Copyright, yeah.
Like,
They're gonna blurt out that whole fucking
I
section.
don't think I actually, dude. It'd be pretty funny if
I've had it
Kanye
happen
did
to
try
me.
and go for me, considering like YouTube probably wouldn't go after it because
what they would do is they'd either take down the video or they would like fucking like silence that entire like clip of the video. I've had that happen to me a few times.
Dude, but the fact is, because like this new album release for Kanye is so controversial, it's been taken down off of like his album that he uploaded himself. It's independent from a label. He put it out himself. It's also on YouTube. They keep taking it down from YouTube. They keep taking it down from Apple. It's number one. It is number one. I said it with a voice crack the first time. It's number one on Apple Music, and they keep taking it down, and I can't stand for it. Across all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, they keep taking it down from the charts. They keep unloading it, but it keeps popping back up, and it's number one. And they're trying to get Beyonce's new single to top Carnival or something like that.
Of course.
Carnival's not the best song on the album, I think.
oh, I thought that was.
Did you guys listen to that
Isn't
by
that the
chance?
fucking cruise ship?
Did you listen to the album at all?
No, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Cameron.
I
wrote
like
about
Kanye.
it. Cameron said he's got some good ones on there. I mean, I listened to some of it.
He's got some bangers. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff. We got it. I might get it on vinyl.
But to tell you the truth, I mean, I like the old Kanye. You know, straight from the goat Kanye.
Yeah,
not the new Kanye. I like the old Kanye.
you know that is fair. I love me some Kanye, bro. The original, all this stuff. You know, Graduation.
Chop up the goals.
Just like great
soul.
stuff, you know. But it's new stuff in terms of him growing as a person. I don't think he's like growing whatsoever. And it's not a great. It's not even like a great album. But with the culture that's being put out now, Sexy red.
The man knows publicity
it's good.
stunts.
He
I mean, that the man is like in that way. I believe him when he says he's a genius because he knows fucking publicity stunts. I feel like everything he's ever
what
done.
he does is genius, but I don't think he's a genius himself.
No, I mean
necessarily.
he's creatively okay. He's in a way a creative genius, like in his like creative like his art, you know, and that
Right.
in that way. I would say, but I'm a genius. Like
Right,
I don't think he's necessarily like a big fucking smarty pants.
It's like I say that kind of shit after I like put two splice stoops together that match that are in the same key, and I go, "Wow, I'm great." He does it by putting two artists together in the same room, and they pop off, and then he hops on the track and he kills it. And yeah, that's greatness right there. But the whole idea of like him being as not as smart as I think he is, because I don't want to degrade the guy. I want to be on his tracks, but
I love everything he does.
I love everything he does.
I mean,
think
I'm
he's
not
great. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think he can definitely be president in 2024 if he really put himself out there.
Not with this beef with a certain
I don't want to say
community.
his race. It was a Jewish doctor.
It gives like a fucking like 5-second pause. He just can't fucking contain it. Like, god damn, this fucking guy.
Love that clip, bro. Love that clip. But it's him being himself, and he's always himself. And that's what's so great about Kanye, is that he is
become
always
a
speaking
Kanye
from the
ad.
heart. You know, he's not doing it from a business point of view.
I think
And that's why you should vote for Kanye.
That's why you should vote for Kanye. He tells it as it is.
Campaign.
I think
we can
about
we
like
can
who
vote Trump
Kanye
in, we can
is,
vote him
as in like you know like the famous story he tells about the coffee tables, right? He's like that's what happens to people. He explains that is like that's what happens to you is like you know if somebody yells at you when you're young, you can't jump on that coffee table, and there's a whole bunch of coffee tables that people tell you not to jump on, and you just become like a very rigid, stale kind of person,
Right.
Because you've got so many like rules set up.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
feel like he just jumps on fucking coffee tables.
just
That's
goes
who he
for it.
is. Like he just fucking doesn't give a shit. He
I'm a man now. I can jump on the coffee table.
he's just.
That's how I feel, bro. Like I'm
I
Kanye.
guarantee you, he's bought some expensive ass coffee tables just to fucking jump on them. Like, fuck you, mom. Jumping on this shit. Next to graduating.
I can literally picture him do like I think that's like a possible
I'm a
thing
gay
that he's
fish
done.
now, mom, bitch.
It got me. Yeah.
That's what meth does to you. Sorry to tell you.
I got some phlegm right now. I don't think you want to hear me just like
Flim
swallowing
flam? That's the kind of fucking cake that Mexicans make, right? The floons.
Right. That's the one right there.
Floons.
We make
Flim.
them
It's like a
fresh
cake
in house
Jell-O?
in the restaurant every day. It's good stuff.
Oh, for real.
Yeah. No, they're actually pretty good, bro. I thought with me some phlegm, some flan.
Some phlegm.
It's flan.
Skleefluid. Oh no, you gassing
Yes,
up the
man.
cast today. Shit.
I'm a gassy boy. Sorry, I don't know what you want me to say.
What do you think about that, Jordan?
Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the question you have, Jordan? You have a
Yeah.
question.
What's the question that
We'll
I
let
have?
you lead the converson.
Here's
Yeah,
a
we'll
question
put you
that
in
I have.
charge.
We
right
have
now.
been on the we've been on the
Been on the
I've just
There's
been
a high
listening.
horse this
I've
whole
just
time.
been listening, bro. I've just been listening. I don't even got a question.
I mean,
Let's see.
you've got a couple things coming out. You said you were working on an EP that's going to be coming out pretty soon, within a month or two or something. You want to plug that?
Yeah, so
'Cause it's banger, bro. You were playing the jams in the cars, bro. It's
I
nice.
got one EP I'm working on. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna go about it. But the idea is gonna be, just kind of trying to explain how people can be hypocritical, how people can be really judgmental, how people can speak about themselves in a way that sounds highly. They try to speak to others about, oh, you should act this way, you should do this, you should perform and operate a certain way because
Yeah,
that's the right way. But when you look at what they do and you kind of ignore what they say, you realize that they tend to do the opposite of what they give out. They tend to cut corners, the same corners they tell you not to cut. They tend to do a lot of things, and it's just like,
Yeah, a lot of people want you to be the ideal person that they can't be. They'll project. It's projection, bro.
but it's just
That's what
funny
it is.
at
They'll
the
project
same
that shit.
time, those same people, they cast judgment onto you or onto others for what they don't do or what they do. But I thought but they say like actions speak louder than words, but like
Right.
it's like you talk all this, you do all that, and you talk a big game, but in reality what you do is completely different than what you say. And so the idea is just to kind of start pointing out things like that.
Dude, going after him.
I'm not necessarily going after them, but you just gotta call it like it is, because we don't do that anymore today.
I do want to get your take on some of the shit that I've been pumping out, because I've got one. It's called Sunburn.
Sunburn. Okay.
So you've been doing like an
about
80s
that.
style. You got 80s R&B as well as a little bit of
Like,
boom bap mixed in
You
there.
got the
90s.
fucking what's
That
the
shit was
synth
good, by the way,
wave.
dude. Yeah,
That's-
that first
yeah,
one
got
was
the
a
little
banger,
vibe,
bro. And the
it's a
second one
vibe.
flowed so well, dude.
Man,
That was
Man's
crazy.
got
It's on the
no
way, bro.
end.
Just-
I'm waiting on the country album.
That one's gonna take some time, because I gotta
You
study
get me
it
involved.
first.
I know that world.
I will. I actually will. Don't play with me. I actually will. But
Have you been
I gotta
listening-
study it more, because I don't know a lot about.
I'll give you
country.
the information.
Yeah. I know.
Basically, your wife cheats on you, you kill her. That's
Amen.
That is like
Amen.
25% of all classic country songs, and a lot of the most infamous songs. Even today, there's some that are like that in the outlaw country world. Kate McCannon, I can play that song. That's by Coulter Wallett. That man, this song about his girl cheats on him. She's kind of a hoe. It turns out. I mean, he should have known that. He met her when she was naked in the creek,
Yeah.
and she cheats on him, and he put 3 rounds into Kate McCannon.
Dang.
Had
So,
to.
You got to make it about cheating. I mean, it really is
Had
just
to.
like fucking basic like life, and
But I wanna
not being able to process your emotions like a
That's
lot of shit like
basically-
that.
But
Yeah.
no, it's not even necessarily like the lyrics, because
That's
I could.
how a lot of rap is too.
Yeah,
to
but like,
be
because I could
honest.
spin the
That's a lot of
lyrics. I could
music.
spin the lyrics whichever way. It's more so I want to study more into the kind of, not algorithm, but the foundation, like the different types of melodies, what's common instruments,
Yeah,
obviously like the
yeah.
guitar, but like common instruments, common melodies. Also from
Steel
like
guitar.
the production standpoint, like how different, because like when different genres, you might use more compression, you might use less EQ, more EQ, more reverb, less reverb.
Well, it's interesting. There's like at this point, there's like at least like with country music, there's like at least over 100 years of evolution just in that genre, because it started out like in the 20s and 30s sort of as its own, kind of started to break away. You had the Gene Autry's, and
Yeah.
in the 40s it really became like a revolutionary like mainstream genre with Hank Williams, who was considered like the godfather of country music, and from then on it established itself as like the core of like American musical expression. And so since then, like you see with like each decade of it, you see like there's different like influences. Like at some point it became influenced by like rock, and you look at like they're like the 80s and 90s are considered like the golden era, where it was like it had its solid sound, and then into like the early 2000s it started to take on a lot of like rock elements, and then nowadays it's kind of like at this like there's a lot of like, at least with the mainstream like Nashville puppeteered shit, it's a lot of like more modern sounding like
They
get your
start putting
bebops
trap in
and-
there. And
yeah, it's
I
fucking,
recently-
it sounds like shit. And that's why I think like there's such an appeal to outlaw like music, like people that just play the fucking guitar, like that's all they fucking do. Like there's such an appeal to that, because it's keeping those like real roots alive, and it's keeping that real expression. It's not someone's
Shout out
writing
to
a fucking
Roots.
song for you. It's like it's a real like. I think it's interesting. Like different genres have that kind of expression. I think in rap, there's like a in rap you express a lot of like what you're thinking.
Yeah.
In country, you express a lot of like your feelings and frustrations about like just simple life. You have other genres that are more about expressing different kinds of feelings. But I think those are kind of like the key differences.
Okay. I like that. That's good information. It's actually really good information.
what do you say?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What did he say?
I didn't hear
I
it
wasn't
either.
listening.
I didn't really hear it.
I
either.
unleashed a nasty beast over here, and
He-
I
I've
kind of
unleashed
went
a
off the
beast
rails
myself.
for a second. I was hearing a lot of like genre mashup ideas and whatnot. I like the idea of mashing up genres, but whenever you do it for a formulaic sort of expressionism that, like you said, Nashville, Tennessee be putting out. Oh god.
Yeah, Nashville is like Nashville is a nasty. I mean, it used to be like that was like that's where you went to become. It's like how nowadays
Like
you go
Dolly
to, you go
Parton,
to LA.
you
Yeah, like Dolly
get,
Parton.
get a whole
oh
bunch
my
of
God.
like. I mean, she started her own sort of empire, I guess.
Now
out
she's
of
got a
what she's
fucking
done.
like. You ever been to her park?
Never
Up
been to
there
a
in Pigeon
park, but I know
Forge?
about that shit. Yeah.
Dolly World.
Yeah.
Actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Those are some roller coasters. I'm telling you.
I've also seen the home of Travis Tritt highway sign that they got down in Hiram too.
My sister was friends with one of his kids. They went to school together.
That's crazy, bro. I know Caleb Lee Hutchinson. I'm friends with.
We went to school with him.
I'm friends with him, according to my mom. Me and him, we used to do taekwondo together, right? And I blocked out all those memories. Like, and
Really?
it, probably like a year or two or something like that, maybe. But like, I don't remember the guy. And whenever
Who is that?
Caleb Lee
Remember the
Hutchinson
American
went
Idol
onto
when they came to
American
our
Idol.
school?
And he just put a new album out recently. It was from he worked with some dude in L.A. with it recently. If you want the hookup with the country singer, bro, I've got you, man. I just got to talk to his dad. I serve him all the time at La Bamba. That's all I got to do. I just got to be like, hey, bro, I know a young aspiring artist trying to make his name in the rap industry. You think you can hook him up?
I would leave with R&B, to be honest.
I know another.
Yeah.
I grew up like next to like a
trying to think
rising
of this.
country star named Noah Hicks. We used to go to his house. That's where I first.
I feel like I know Noah, or like I've heard of Noah Hicks.
We grew up like in the same I was like less than like half a mile from him, but his parents like owned like a chicken farm. And I remember going over there a few times as a kid, and like some like my siblings were friends with some of them. And then I mean, I know the man played guitar, in those days, but like now he's like doing concerts and shit and like opening up for people. It's crazy to see someone come from the same area you came from. I mean, it's kind of similar to how you like 'cause you go on social media, you see people that are like either your age or younger than you, wildly successful. It either makes you like want to punch a wall, or to like, I don't know, I don't know what it makes you want to do, but it's kind of frustrating. But like I always come to like, well, it's just not my time yet. I've also haven't not put in the work that they put in, so like, there's some differences there,
Yeah.
Gotta respect the hustle.
I mean, I don't know much about country. I'm still trying to dive more into it. If you do see his father, like I said, I would personally lead with R&B.
Yeah,
I consider
yeah.
myself R&B first, and then rap.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
I'm
though.
a silver
I really
tongue.
enjoy rap.
I'm a silver tongue devil, so I can weasel my way into that.
it comes in a lot.
If it really, yeah, he does. He does come in a good bit. Bro. I see him once, twice a week or something like that. That is the La Bamba at 1307 Dallas Highway. You want to make sure we're sweet.
Come in,
115. Come and see us.
Get the Texas Bombasso. That's the best
Get
shit
the
they got on
Texas
the menu. That shit
Bombasso.
is
Get
fucking
the
delicious.
Churrasco steak. He's usually there on Tuesdays between 3 and 5 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't come. He doesn't. That's
For legal
that's all
reasons,
bullshit.
yeah,
but,
for
you know.
legal reasons, that is actually entirely fabricated.
Yeah.
We don't actually even know the guy.
No, I was just talking out of my ass. That's just restaurant promotion. He's in there whenever he wants to be in there, but he's in there a good bit. You'll see him. But yeah, no, dude, I want to put that out there real quick. His new album is Southern Galactic. Yeah, no, but he's in there a good bit. And yeah, no, if I could probably like speak to him or something like that, and kind of like, because I've been wondering what kind of LA life be going on,
be
like imagine working with a producer in LA, getting some kind of connection or something. I can
That breakthrough,
Yeah.
kind of sort of
but
situation.
I can't really talk to his dad about that. I'd have to talk to his dad to get in talks with Caleb himself, and then Caleb can point me in the direction of where to go for you.
We got to get in touch
So-
with Dave Cobbs. We got to get in touch with.
Exactly, Dave Cobb, owner of.
Something.
He's a music producer.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, like that's pretty fun. It's fun having network connections and stuff like that. It's pretty
does help out a lot. Makes sense.
That's something I've been lacking in, like super hard, dude. Recently, I've been
Marketing
thinking
is so
about
big.
just paying studio time, just like hanging out at a studio to
Schmooze.
the schmooze and peruse, but being in a studio is completely different to being in a home studio.
True.
Going to someplace and sitting, like, even if you just pay for studio time yourself, you're still sitting into the whole production of what's going on, usually, unless it's some shitty studio that you don't want to be working with. but
Or if
it'll
you spent
give
all your
you a
time
certain open experience, and you don't know what kind of opportunities might be over there. Maybe there's an instrument or something that you might be interested to play in, and you create an interesting melody out of that. Something pops out of that song really, really quick. Maybe I have like one of those, Clay, you've got those like Hawaiian little doom doom.
Yeah, the kalimbas.
Yeah, Kalumbas or something like that. And you just fuck with it in the studio, and then that guy goes, "Oh my god, I have such a fucking interesting idea. I want to record 500 samples of you playing the Karumba," and something comes out of that, and you wind up releasing your own sound pack on Splice or something like that. Some crazy stuff that you never can possibly. I just thought of that on the spot. You can come up with so many different like ideas out of a studio session like that.
True.
There's also so many.
If you're able to speak with some, if you got that kind of like good communication skill, you're able to actually like
like
talk with a guy.
networking is like a highly underestimated skill. I think
Dude,
it take you further
absolutely.
than anything, and like I think that's why it's so valuable to be able to connect with so many people and to be open minded. Is because
Yes.
motherfuckers like if you were shutting yourself like out of like talking to a certain type of people,
Right.
whether they're in this religion or or this race or whatever, this community or this state or whatever, it's like you can learn something from everybody. And I think I was talking to Jordan about this the other day. Like, you're like into like producing and engineering music.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an artist.
Right.
Because I mean, we were watching that. What was the guy that was like he was producing for Mr. Denzel fucking Curry? Who was the guy that was doing that video?
You're talking about Kenny Beats?
Yeah, Kenny Beats. So you could do some shit like that. I mean, you can.
That's the cave right there. Kenny Beats is an established producer, but it's possible to do something similar to that.
So it's amazing watching you motherfuckers like just make a song like fucking in a few minutes. Like that shit is spectacular to me. Like and, this is the guy that also does a stream. You show me that he'll make a stream like mashup of certain themes. Like there is no limit really. Like if you have that skill, you can find a billion things to fucking do with that.
Yeah.
You found a beard hair in your hand.
Yeah, it looked like a question mark. The Riddler is leaving me clues.
But no, yeah, it's true.
Sorry.
But one thing is that, like, which is why I've been working more on my music theory. Well, more so on the piano as well, is because the more you can expand your knowledge
What's your theory so far?
of music,
Yeah.
that I gotta keep working. But the more that you can expand your knowledge of music theory and just whatever instrument you're trying to perfect, the more creativity that you can, then spew off of that. Which is also why I really have been working to get more into actual instruments, because
Yeah.
having a synthesizer on a MIDI keyboard
Yeah.
of a bass is not the same as having an actual bass. The same for drums.
Absolutely.
Eventually, yeah.
Like the raw creation of like a
And the ability, as you once said, just to actually mess around with things. It's
Yeah.
easier to mess around when you have the actual instrument.
I mean, it really when you have an instrument, you were literally just playing with it.
Yeah.
Like that's why you play the instrument. You're not just fucking like, playing something like the play button. You're actually playing with it. Like that's why I think that's what makes music so like fun. Is like I'm not any kind of fucking like instrumentalist fucking musician, but like I mean sometimes I can make stuff that sounds good, and then I'm just fucking playing with it. It's for the fucking fun of it, and it feels good to kind of be able to just let your nervous system express itself, like to just fucking find itself something that sounds good.
And that's
play
what
along with
music
your ears.
is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of
Ultimate
those
form of
like splice
expression.
loops that I find, I hit play on and it starts going. That's one vibe. But you're honestly, whenever you do something like that, you're catching the vibe of another person
Right.
who was vibing at the time of recording that
Right.
thing. So you've got to clasp onto a fraction of what the original idea was and transform it into something else. That's a good
This
look.
But yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
true. But that's the thing with
That's the
this,
downside of splice.
Yeah, that's the downside. Because, like, yeah. And it's also when it comes to, like, beats and production, there's something, like, I love you make a beat and it's really nice or something. But there's one thing when you make a beat and everything that you made was, like, from scratch.
Yes.
And to slowly be able to go and morph into that, where more things are from scratch as opposed to that. It's just a nice feeling, you know? But again, that is a lot easier when you actually have like instrumentation and stuff to really just be creative and play around. So
I want drums.
Yeah,
I want drums, bro.
I could get
That would
drums.
be like I've seen Jordan go crazy on the fucking drums, like at the fucking Guitar Center.
Ooh,
He'll just
bro.
pi- he
And I don't
just,
even play drums.
He just like picks it up. Yeah, like you remember the fucking guy when we saw? There was this guy, like a black guy, dressed like a fucking like he was dressed like a fucking like a blues
pimp.
legend out of the
Yeah,
fucking
like,
like out of the 70s.
Straight
At
out of
Guitar
it.
Center?
Yeah,
Yes, he was dressed
yeah.
like a fucking. We watched him, waited for him to get out of the fucking out of the drums room, and then after he was done with that shit, he fucking straight up like went over to the guitars and started like jamming out some blues with like some random motherfuckers.
bro.
Yo,
And he was dressed up like it was like fucking church Sunday, like in the fucking South or some shit.
That's
it was,
crazy.
It was spectacular. It was a sight to fucking see.
Yeah, he was rocking, man. That's a rock star right there.
Yeah.
You ask him what
But
he
nah, it
you
was
walk
tough
up.
though. It was crazy. But I don't know. I just know. Yeah, I'm hyped to play the drums. Like I picked up the
You got
bass, and so far it's been like a natural. I don't know. It's just felt natural. The bass has felt really natural.
Dude, have you messed around with that guitar from Clay too, by chance?
I need to.
I was curious.
I
It's
need to
got
put
some
it in
fresh
key.
strings on it still.
I gotta put it in key.
You got any? Well, you got picks, right? You got a pick
Yeah,
pack.
yeah, I picks.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna mess around
I was
with it.
curious
I
about
just
that.
gotta get it in key, and then I'm messing around with it.
You may have to get like I'm not sure if you need. Did you take the extra amp with it too?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
you might have to have like a separate like guitar one, but if you have like a setup like any of this stuff, you could probably just plug it in and do some like computer stuff with it instead.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you trying? Oh, you trying
Well,
to do?
It's been adjusting the mic for a
Yeah,
minute.
trying to move the like back up with the mic, it like pulled it off
You
of the
need
stand.
another hand?
No, I'm good. I'm I'm good at like the two-handed
Yeah.
things, you know.
Well,
But
honestly, it's been
123.
going on for a minute.
123.
123, and we took like a 10-minute break maybe or something
Yeah.
like that.
Are we
It's
at a
about
natural
13.
conclusion? You think?
We can come
Yeah,
to
that's a pretty good conclusion.
Yeah, it's
On
been
some
a while, bro.
instrumentation.
It's been a minute.
Right as I get the
We can
fucking
move on
mic
to
stand that I've
something.
been struggling with for like the last fucking 5 minutes
minutes.
with.
All right, so now that the mic stand is fixed, we can conclude.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
fixed yet. I'm still like adjusting it.
Hurry up!
God.
God!
Is that? I guess
All
what
right,
we're gonna
so
end
I
it right?
guess
Fuck!
You're just gonna peek.
Son of a
and
bitch.
just- So all that is just peaked. You probably can't even hear what you just said. It just
It'll be all right.
probably just
It'll
Oh,
fix
yeah.
itself in
It
post.
does- it doesn't
add
like this.
compression.
Add
doesn't.
compression to it. Limit. Let me
Limited.
use relimiter. And it should be all right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. He's still twist. Okay.
It didn't
coming
work.
off.
It,
It, was-
didn't fucking
it looked like it was there.
Dude.
All right. So
Whatever.
go
We'll
ahead.
fix it. All right. This is it. This has been fun. Once again, Jordan's got a brand new album. JD Beats is a brand new album, a brand new EP coming out.
You're
New
saying that like
single
it's about to
dropping
be
real soon.
next week. Don't say that.
Next week. It's coming out next week.
Coming
Full
out- was it
album.
tomorrow with the Avatar.
Deluxe edition pending on the way. With remasters of his original work.
Shit.
Featuring 24 brand new songs unheard.
It's got 21
Fully
Savage
mastered.
on there, right?
It's got 21 Savage, featuring 21
Shit.
Savage.
Yeah, you've been in the fucking studio
Hot off
cooking
American
it up.
Dream.
Denzel Curry's on it, right?
He's
Yeah.
got
All right.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama,
Thundercat, right? I heard.
Yeah, Thundercat.
Son of a bitch.
Silk Sonic.
Morgan Freeman.
Did you bring Johnny Cash? You brought Johnny Cash back from the dead too, right?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela?
Didn't he have the guy? He was the guy with all the effects and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Because you was talking about the Mandem effect.
Who's that man?
That's right. The Howie Mandela effect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on that.
Halley's comment. That's right.
That's yes, of course.
Haley's comment?
And some people call it Halley. Some people call it. I thought it was called Halley's, but some people
I
just.
have no idea.
I don't. Maybe there's two different ones that go.
It's
with names.
Europeans, bruh.
Those fucking people piss me off.
Yeah, I hate Europeans.
Just shouted like we should nuke them.
So we'll go ahead.
should
and
fund a
this will
proxy
be
war.
this will be the end. Me and Clay don't got not much. Clay, you got anything you want to plug? What do you want to plug?
I'm gonna tell you.
You
guys
do have a
the
YouTube
truth.
channel.
I'll say that for a better day. I'm
Oh,
kind
boy.
of in the down and outs on that one right now, but we will be coming back. I'm just not in a place right now. A little bit. We're in
He's
a,
taking a mental break
yeah, I'm taking a mental break, guys.
because
I'm so
you
mentally
broke
exhausted.
up with a girl
For my-
recently
for my
and your
mental
heart's
health.
broken.
Well, I mean, I didn't break up with her, but you know,
There's gonna be
but
another
you didn't hear that from
15-minute
me, although you
section.
just did.
It's gonna be another 15-minute section of the podcast.
Oh,
Where did you
you-
meet this girl? Clay.
Is this? Are we for real about to extend it?
I do want to ask because I've been meaning to text you about this.
Okay.
And why not just air it out on the podcast?
I feel like that's
Why
a
the
great
fuck
reason
not?
why
I
not
mean-
to.
Why not? I
We
mean,
should keep
and you know
some
what-
things private.
And you know what? I can't.
Some things, yeah.
I can't figure out how to get this mic stand put back together, so I'm just gonna hold it here in my hand. What was your question?
So, all right, yeah, no. Where did you meet this girl?
Let me tell you, it was the summer. Of
Oh boy,
23.
right.
Summer of 69.
69.
Oh my god.
All right,
person
so
number two.
Are we really going?
So a little over a year. I guess you actually want to go into this.
Yeah, no, I
Are
think
you
it'd be
sure?
great. I think 'cause I did want to
I
ask
mean, you
about
can't
this,
keep it
genuinely.
private off the book.
Nothing.
That's true. I mean, you
Nothing.
don't have to reveal anything that you
I'm not
don't
ad-
want to.
I'm not
but-
exactly advertising this podcast to all my ladies out here, but you know.
Yeah,
But
just you could blanket terms and everything. You know. I said the name of my ex earlier. I don't know.
well, no.
I was
names.
inside of her.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
I mean, you
Inside
you
of
can-
her heart, right?
Yeah, of course. You
Yeah.
know? I did break her heart, and it's funny. The whole time she was with another man, and it was
Holy
great.
shit.
Like
I've been
I
there
felt
before.
I felt bad for the guy and whatnot. And you know what? Good for him because he broke up with her, and I feel proud of him in a way. And I've never spoken to him, even though he did come into the restaurant once or twice. And I seen him the first time I was with her. I seen him the second time he was with another girl, and I was like, "Amen, brother."
Hey, hey, he fucking.
said,
You helped him
Amen.
out, really.
I think I did, bro. I think I'm a good person. You know.
I mean, that's a reasonable conclusion to come to, really. I
Dang
mean,
it.
that makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, a little over a year ago, I think it was the beginning of January of 23. I got banned from Tinder.
Okay.
Let's just say I had some.
I remember that.
Let's just say I had some good jokes, and some of the people didn't take so kindly to it. I also I accused Tinder of hosting human trafficking, which if
it
you pay
does.
attention on there,
You can
it
tell.
does. It
You can tell.
does. Come on now, it does. It's fucking ridiculous.
You can tell.
But I included that in my bio just to kind of like fucking. I mean, I forget what they call it, but sometimes you just get angry.
Right.
You just
Right.
get frustrated with the game, so you just start like lashing out and you just start saying like crazy shit just because you're out of frustration. So it was a combination of that and like also this one girl like started roasting me out the gate, so I started roasting her back.
Oh, word.
That was one of the last matches I had on Tinder.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
got fucking banned shortly after, and I think I almost got it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, here we're back in the game. The
Back
fucking
in-
mic
back in
stand.
business.
There we go.
Let's go.
I don't got to hold the entire fucking mic stand anymore. Thank God. This thing's still plugged in, right? Okay, good.
There you go.
But yeah,
Nice.
I got banned from Tinder, and so I was like, oh well, fuck. And so I deleted the apps for a while because it's like, in this day and age,
It's good to get off the apps for like a good minute and just like figure yourself out and
and
whatnot.
then come back fresh.
Yes.
Because it's like nowadays,
That's what I did 2 days ago, bro. I'm same
there's
thing.
so many fucking ways
no
to meet
judgment.
people like
No
in real
judgment,
life.
bro.
It's
This
like
is a safe space.
there's not really a way to really fucking like meet people you weren't looking for. So like you kind of resort to like automatically if you're working like a 9 to 5 and then you have 2 days off or you're doing your own business.
Right.
There's not really a fucking way to meet people. Like the
Oh,
old fashioned way was like you meet somebody at like a friend's party or something.
Yeah.
my friends
Yeah.
don't. They,
Take your old girl to the
They
bar.
simply don't be having parties and shit. And like I'm not going to a fucking bar because I'm not about the bar life. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Not my kind of environment. I mean, call me a pussy, but
Whenever you
whatever.
go to a bar, you know that you feel like you're scum.
Yeah, and you get approached
you
by
feel
monsters,
like you're bar scum.
and like I get kicked out like all the fucking time for being too drunk. Apparently, And it's like, I'm not even doing anything violent. It's just like I'm trying to rest my head, and I've been kicked out like at bars multiple times just for like trying to rest my fucking head. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. I get sleepy whenever I drink. It happens.
Yeah, well, it's really just I'm trying to like how you get really dizzy and try to collect yourself.
Bars
you,
are filled with flashing lights and exhaust
you
your
try
eyes
to hold
real
on
quick.
yourself, recenter yourself because otherwise you're gonna puke.
Yeah.
I had somebody try to remove me from a fucking bar, which I mean, whatever. And
the
he's like,
last thing you
"Hey,
wanna
bud, you
do."
gotta go." And like, I'm okay, sir. I'll go. I was with my sister, like, I was watching over her and her friends and her boyfriend, which obviously I was most fucked up, so I wasn't really, but. But I'm like, okay, sir. I'm like, if you help me up, so he helps me up, and I don't know if it was that bar or the other bar down the street, but I destroyed a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
They made me wait in line for the one bathroom they had in the entire fucking bar,
Uh-huh.
somewhere in the Carrollton Square.
Beer
And
shits.
when I got in there, like my
The
sister
worst.
and her friend came in there. And they kind of stood in the back to make sure I didn't die.
Yeah.
So I took my piss and then I just fucking like all over like the sink, all over the sink, and there wasn't even a way to like wash it down. So like we just like got out of there in a hurry, like we gotta go. Like there's like a whole line of people behind me like waiting to get in there, and I just fucking like demolished it.
There's
Oh,
no
geez.
way
I'm
you're
not
gonna
a-
clean that up.
no.
You don't work there.
I'm
you don't
too-
have access to the cleaning supplies,
Yeah,
bro.
you guys get your
got
pressure
toilet
washer,
paper.
you know. Yeah,
That's
fuck
it.
these people. Like, fuck you bar people. Like,
Yeah,
and they probably
dude.
deal with all the time. I mean, you know, but...
Yeah, it's part of the job, you know. It's
like
a perk of the job.
But basically, my point is, like, I'm not about bars, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
you go there... It's a very superficial environment. The drinks are overpriced. You can't hear anybody. It's like, you
Right.
could be talking to a tranny because it's so loud you don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
And it's like... I don't know. It's just not my kind of place.
Okay.
So, of course, well, that's just the setup for explaining like why we use fucking dating apps. I'm sure you can relate in some ways.
Hell yeah. No,
Jordan,
no.
I mean, you walk anywhere, you're like a fucking magnet. So I don't know about you, but you're different. You know. But, I mean, Jordan. We got the perfect man over here. His name is Jordan, by the way. But you
Living
know,
legend.
call him JD. But the rest of us
No,
gingers,
hey, Jordan,
you know, we're
you gotta
on
know
the
your own worth, bro.
genders are on the low key. You know, we don't just be going and doing crazy shit unless prompted to.
Oh, God.
But you know, we I don't know, but yeah. So then I just said, well, fuck it. I mean, Hinge is too complicated. I don't know why. I feel like Hinge is too complicated. Like I feel like if you don't pay for it, it's like it doesn't seem like there's enough people on there.
I've never thought of using Hinge as like a dating app or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've only ever used Tinder and Bumble because Bumble.
See, Hinge seems like it's the
whenever
best.
I was down bad, I was like, I need more chances.
There's
basically.
better
That's
quality.
the only reason I ever used multiple dating apps.
There's
and
better
I've
quality
instant
on
stopped.
Bumble. I'm telling you that. Like better
Is there?
quality women. Like overall compared to Tinder.
Quality is subjective, and
Compared
not
to
everybody's
Tinder,
looking
like
for
Tinder
quality.
is like Tinder's like you got like a wide array. Like
Right.
it's just a lot of people. Like Bumble's kind of narrowed down. There's a little bit more quality. To a degree,
That's
it's
what
like
if you're looking for a
women-
certain specific type of like.
Well,
woman,
women
you know?
women can be more
I don't care.
selective. So if a woman does match with you, it means more on Bumble, I guess.
Right,
Because
yeah.
Whatever. So, but long story short, me and this girl met on Bumble. It was about a 15-minute explanation of yeah. on
Okay,
Bumble.
okay, you got it.
That was your question. I answered your question.
Yeah,
Oh no,
It's a very long setup to
oh,
answer.
so
was an
you
extremely long
met
setup to
your
answer.
girl on
That
Bumble
was
who
very
broke your heart.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so like that was a long explanation
Yeah, we went up.
for that.
I feel like context was so important.
Yeah. I mean, this all,
Context is important, you know.
this all happened like 3 weeks. So I basically remember
that was
last
last
time
year.
you were over here, you were like, okay, I can't wait to meet this girl. You didn't
I
say
was-
that.
I was-
You were like, I'm gonna see how this goes, and then
I was
when-
feeling good about it, you know. I was feeling
Right.
good. I mean,
and then I swear to God, like 2
consistent
weeks
dating.
later, I see you make a post that goes, women aren't shit.
that's not what I fucking said.
Women
It was on
are
Valentine's-
deceitful.
That's not no
Women-
No.
Yeah,
It was on Valentine's Day, and I said
was pretty funny.
I said
It was hilarious
I
to
said
me.
love was about as real as the NFL, and
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 love is fake,
Lithuania
like that.
and all that shit. Love is fake and gay, like fucking conspiracy people, like are always like.
Where did you get that
Space
from?
is fake and gay.
Where?
What did you just say?
Oh yeah, no. Let me pull it. I'm pulling up the post
misquoted.
itself because
He's got to pull it up.
like
I
it was a really good post, bro. And I'm
I dropped some
I'm
memes
not
on it,
downing
too.
you. I'm not dragging you for this. it was just really funny wording. I might have saved it, but I'm gonna look it
You just
up
go to
real
my
quick.
account. Just don't
Yeah.
say, don't say what the account is.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. I can't remember which one.
It's on the Nazi
necessarily
forum,
was.
neo Nazis.
Yeah, the 4chan. I'm pulling up 4chan right now, and we're going.
I'm gonna have to ask
Jesus
my
Christ.
rabbi if this is okay.
Oh yeah, you posted that one of like the fighter jets and everything. That was pretty
Did
cool.
I?
Yeah. Yeah,
Fighter
but that was on a different account probably. You got what three
jet.
three
When the fuck did I
accounts?
post fighter jet shit. What are you talking about?
It was on that one.
Oh,
that's
god
what I
damn
was
it!
looking
Wait,
at.
you're gonna have Carter. If you don't,
Carter,
bleep
you
that,
dumb
I
A.
swear. You better, yeah, that's something you gotta make sure you bleep out. I'm not gonna have that in there.
Yeah, nigga, you can't.
Man, she fucked.
That's like
bro.
That's my.
Well, then pull up the other account that you
doxing
posted
people.
that.
God damn, you don't even
That's your-
fucking. It's like you
that's
don't
your
even
one. Dox
know
two
me.
people
'Cause
now.
you asked me for
Like
it,
the
and
one
how
you-
am I supposed to convey it non-verbally?
The one you
He
brought
said
I'm supposed to
don't-
do like
he said
hand signs.
don't
I'm not
say
supposed
any
to sign
names.
language the account number.
He said
to you
don't
that you
say
asked me
any
for
names.
specifically.
And then you straight up said a
"Hey,
name."
which account are you looking at?"
The one
and
you
I had
brought,
to
the one you brought
specify.
up was my.
You
was
couldn't
my
have said-
camouflage. The
No,
one-
I
could've-
couldn't have said because
could've
the only
acronymed
thing
it.
I could was say.
You
the
could
one you
have
brought up was
acronymed
my
it.
camouflage account. To keep
I'm gonna
people
bleep
away.
it. I'm
You
gonna
could
bleep
have
it.
acronymed it.
Let's read this out loud. Love is fake and gay, just like the NFL. Democracy, Lithuania, the crown, and comprehensive coverage. Grow up.
Real.
Celebrate the destabilization of geopolitical climate instead. Now, I agree with that. I think
Where
that-
in
that
there
is-
did
that
he
is
say
very
that
true.
women are terrible and
Yeah, you
deceitful?
misinterpreted
And, yeah, bro, you misquoted
But-
the hell out of
but-
that.
No,
but
it
you
goes.
got
It
what I was
goes on.
feeling.
It goes on.
You
It
got what I was
says,
feeling.
"I hate women.
No.
I follow women every night from Atlanta. I want to follow and back to their apartments and with a rag of chloroform destabilize the government."
See, while I
That's
didn't
exactly
say
what
that,
it says here.
While I
Clay
didn't
Henry.
say that, he understood what I was saying. So that's behind the lines. He interpreted that correctly. If
Yeah,
I may
no, like,
add.
I can read. I see. I'm an empath, and I definitely I read into people's
Gingers
language.
have a kind of a connection.
That's true, dude. That is true. No, that's basically what I wanted to bring
But that
up.
was
'Cause
on.
I thought,
but that was
it-
on Valentine's Day, and that was a few days later, and I was just like, well,
It struck
you know,
me. It struck me as what it is.
It's something about it. Like I told myself, I was gonna be mature and not let my
Yeah.
personal, perspective, be negative to other people. But I just
Yeah.
thought, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck all these people posting all their shit about Happy Valentine's Day.
That's true.
I
yeah.
love corporatism and chocolate and
Because
hearts.
e-
Fuck you.
Everybody posts
Fuck you.
their significant other on
So
that day,
sad.
and
It's
instead
so
of
sad.
it's
Fuck you and your fucking holiday. You go
it's-
fuck yourself. You,
it-
you get to celebrate your fucking, whatever, your satisfaction every fucking day. You go have sex or whatever. You feel satisfaction and you want to fucking put that on social. I don't give three shits about your fucking girlfriend that you're
Yeah.
banging. She looks like a fucking retarded donkey over
It's
here,
it's
and
a-
you're just fucking bragging because you're gonna get some because you posted that. You fucking little pussy.
It's an arbitrary post of appreciation. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that you let
exactly.
out a lot right there.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I was
superficial.
feeling. That's what I was feeling.
It's
That's why I couldn't
superficial.
resist. I tried so hard. I told myself days in advance, I'm
Yeah.
not going to make a thing of this
right.
because I'm crazy. I'm not going to make a big thing of this. But I was like, you
Wait.
know what? I was like, you know what? Like a few hours before the day ended, I was like, you know what? Fuck these people. Fuck them.
What did
I'm gonna
that
be
girl
negative.
do to you to get you to that point though?
See,
'Cause
actually,
I wanted to know.
It's funny
because I'm
but
your friend and I just want to know. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's
I'm your friend, and I just want to know
I
as
just
we
wanna
air it
know
out on this
broadcasting
podcast
this,
to all
you guys
to
keep talking
people.
about
to all
stuff.
5
Hold on.
people who are gonna listen to this. It's all good, and all 5 people are gonna be me.
So-
Well, it's
you're
gonna
good.
be here forever, so at some point people can hear it.
This
But-
is on Spotify though. So
Yeah,
you
it's
know
gonna be
that.
here forever, so it's like some point people.
The
will
Two
hear it.
Drinks In podcast brought
to
to
tell
you
you
by
the truth,
Spotify.
she didn't actually do anything to me. Like she was actually the most of all the women's to let me down.
Yeah.
She was the most respectful. By that I mean she did it in person.
Okay.
And at least vaguely, more than nothing, explained to me reasons why, which has never been, that courtesy has never been given to me.
Yeah.
Usually women, either they drift away and then they just kind of like, they pretend like, you're drifting apart by making it
Right.
intentionally, like they're slowly like
Yeah,
easing up.
whenever
or
we
they
were
completely
younger, they
fucking
did that
ghost
shit.
you.
Uh-huh.
So that's the only thing I've ever gotten, which has always pissed me off. It's like, at least fucking have the
Those
courtesy
are
to
the
tell me.
coward's way outs, which
Yeah.
is usually
I'm
what
gonna
women
save your
do.
feelings, but really,
'Cause women
just
are
be-
cowards.
No, that's sort of what it is. They say they want to save your feelings. They don't want to hurt your feelings. But really what it is they're afraid of confrontation, which I understand because if you've seen
Right.
how other men deal with rejection,
Dude,
you'd
yeah, no,
understand
there
why
are
women are so
psychopaths
afraid.
out there.
They're fuck you, bitch, you were ugly anyway. I've seen it. From women showed me text
Yeah,
messages.
I've seen it.
Dude, I
Men
see
are
that
fucking
at work
like
all
some
the time, man.
some
It's
men
crazy.
are fucking losers like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
I get why, but really what made me sad is just like the potential that was there. And to know, to see it,
I heard that shit too.
yeah, just a squirrel falling out of a tree.
Squirrel.
But
Rest in
it's
peace.
just to see the potential drain in front of my face, and I don't know. It just kind of like damn, because I mean you try so
Kendrick
hard,
Lamar.
you try so hard to be genuine,
Yeah.
and it just time after time it just doesn't work out, and it makes you think damn, this whole fucking fallacy of love just seems like fucking bullshit to me.
I feel
like
that.
it just seems like a big fucking lie because like how could I relate to so much to a person and it doesn't fucking like. I mean, and I get the personal reasons behind it. Everybody's specific, got their particular things, but it's like, how many fucking times I got to go through this?
Look, it's as many times. Some people don't achieve that kind of shit, and you definitely got to because I like a lot of the time. I feel like between like the last 5 years, I've changed my own pursuits of what I'm looking for in women. I'm constantly like I used to, as far as stalking goes, I the furthest I've ever like done with on like for Instagram, I look at a girl's story whenever she posts because she's the first person that pops up in my Instagram feed, and I'm interested to see. And as far as that goes, I've like left a like on each one of their Instagram stories and been like,
motherfucker.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm a coy bitch, is what I.
Now you gotta be mysterious in this whole,
right?
Like, why does he liking my story? What's he doing?
Exactly. I play the game.
But do you like every post, or you space it out a little bit?
I will put like it's a ratio of like 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1 to keep the intrigue going. And every once in a while there'll be a specific post where you don't like, and they'll be like, "Oh, they definitely would have liked that one. Why didn't they do that?" But the funny thing is, all of that is bullshit. It's all bullshit.
But that's making them think about you.
It's not. It's not.
But if they ask themselves,
because how many other boys are doing the exact same shit? There's
okay. Well, you got a point there.
Yeah, every girl gets that kind of shit all the time, and they're kind of like DMs and whatnot. And the most important thing is you got to realize, person to person, if I was in their shoes, not even as a man or a woman, if I was in their shoes, how would I receive that kind of information? Or even if you were a woman, how would you receive that kind of information? It's absolutely, you open your eyes to a certain point and you quit doing these mathematical games and you start kind of realizing people are people. It's not man or woman or in between or anything like that. It's people are people, and as long as you show them the kind of respect that a human being deserves, even though you may think you're already doing it, look, the thing is, you're still after a certain goal, which is you're trying to get some pussy. And that's the goal.
Well, that's the main surface level drive for it, but like, right. But even that gets fucking old.
Because
it does. I mean, because sometimes you can jack off better. Sometimes honestly, like
say you match with a woman on Tinder or something, and as you're swiping through, she's not the perfect swipe or
easier.
anything.
It's just fucking quicker.
It's definitely easier and everything. It's the dating game. I feel like
crack. The more appeal to like sex is not necessarily the feeling, it's like the feeling, or like not the feeling of like literal like jizzing inside a woman or whatever.
Right.
It's the feeling of like, oh shit, I fucking won. Like it feels like you like mastered like a complex like psychological game. But sometimes
you can treat it like that.
Sometimes
you can treat
it really
like
feels
a psychological game.
Well, sometimes
or
it really
treat
feels
it
like
as
they
human
allow you
beings
to
being
win.
human beings. Because
well, if there's a real connection, then that fucking feels great too.
Yeah, but that's
But if you're just trying to get sex, then it is kind of like a
better.
game.
That's probably like the pinnacle of what everybody's trying to achieve.
That's what I'm.
Is a mutual
which is my fucking
agreement
issue.
between people.
That's my issue because that's what I'm trying to achieve. But like usually it is you're just trying to play a game to have. At least when you start out, it's kind of like you're just trying to play a game to at least get some.
Right.
And then after a while, you're like, okay, well, this is kind of fucking dumb, and this doesn't really like last. So you're like, okay. Maybe I'll try to like form an actual bond.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then that will be like meaningful. If it leads to sex, then that'll be meaningful.
Exactly.
But that just doesn't really fucking like that route is far less successful than being a fucking psychopath. Which actually, it's funny.
That's true. That's true too.
It's funny that people that like have sex with tens and hundreds of women, or vice versa, those people are actual psychopaths, because what that is they view a person, a human being, as a means to an end. It's an object that is by nature psychotic. That is a fucking psychopathic tendency.
You're completely putting the other person out of the picture and only focusing on what you want. But you can't possibly do that if you're looking for a long-lasting term relationship. But before you even go to Tinder, you gotta understand exactly what you want, which is, do I just want some pussy? Do I want this thing?
Sometimes.
And, okay, let me say, not before you go
Depends
to
on
Tinder.
how interesting she is.
Before you go into like, yeah. Say you
Because if
match
she's
with a girl
just
on
hot,
Tinder.
she's just dumb. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have sex with her.
Exactly.
But
And
it's
you
like-
got to
but
play
if
it
you're
just
stupid
like
and not
that.
interesting, like that's all I'm gonna want from you.
Yeah.
Because if all you put off is that you were a sexy person, then that's all I'm going to want from you.
Yeah.
But if you have more to you, it's like, holy shit. Sex is only a fucking add-on that I barely remember sometimes.
Right.
you know?
But what did I put in my own bio? I put job, car, money. So we take those things. That's gonna put me, points for the game or some shit like that.
Okay.
I'm up there. And that's as far as I go. So I've got all those things, and I can take all that and get a certain woman who's looking for that kind of stuff. But if God, the train of thought is like absolutely gone. Yeah, no, the choo-choo train has gone off the rails, bro. This is Norfolk Southern that I'm running on right now. Fuck Norfolk Southern, by the way. I want to put that out there.
Nah, what the hell?
Yeah,
What's
no,
wrong with Norfolk?
I hate Norfolk. I've got a pass with Norfolk Southern, but I don't know. The point that I'm trying to get across with women is, you can swipe right on a girl on Tinder, but if you don't know exactly what you want with that girl, then the situation will change. You can like a girl, but only want her for her physical traits and stuff. And if you pursue that, then that's okay, as long as there's a mutual agreement in between the two, which is something that you got to work out between the two of yourselves.
That's
And
a complex world if you've never been into it.
it's
That's
not a complex world. You really like it.
but
It's being real with somebody.
It's not.
While
But it's
also-
not complex for that reason, but it is because other motherfuckers have other shit going on. Like
Other
you,
people,
you
yeah,
may
that's
see
true.
it, which
Other
is my,
people do got
which was
shit
my
going
issue
on,
with this
and you can
recent
read
thing.
that as long as you ask the questions that are necessary.
That's my issue with the recent thing. That's kind of like just made me like, fuck it, I should just give up. It's like I finally come to a place where it's like, okay, I just want to simply connect with the person.
Right,
But this
right,
person,
right.
but it may be with this person who still doesn't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
So then it's like, what the fuck? Like
That person wasn't for you then.
I know what
and
I
if,
want.
And even if you thought that person was for you, you shouldn't necessarily take that as any sort of personal slight or some sort of
It's not. It's not like it's not like usually when you get ghosted after having quite a few rounds or or other situations where it's like if you're getting somewhere, it's like goddamn, like this shit seems like it's just never gonna work out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the
It's
personalities
more like that.
don't.
It's not that I
don't
feel
mesh.
like I did something wrong. Which I mean, I know I got room to improve, but it's like,
Yeah.
goddamn,
We all got room
it
to
seems like this shit
improve.
is rigged. Like
That's
I'm just
included
not
for the
meant
other
to-
side too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm less feeling like in this situation. I'm less feeling like my personal like problems that have affected it, which of course you always do overthink. Like, what the hell did I do wrong? But in this situation, I'm thinking like, God damn it, like why couldn't we have not been in the same place at the same time?
Right. Yeah. No, the missed opportunities.
It's like it
and
never
stuff like
fucking.
that.
You never can be in the right place at the same fucking
Yeah.
time. Like
And
that's
that-
such a
that-
fucking small window. You have to hit like
part of-
women have such small windows, because men stay single for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Men stay single for the amount of time that women stay in relationships, basically.
I hear. Yeah.
So it's like
that is true.
It's like you have a very small fucking
In Trump's
tiny window
America,
of
that's how this. In Biden's America, that's how this is.
yeah, fucking. This is what Joe Biden's done with his Bidenomics,
Bidenomics,
But you have
bro.
such a small window of opportunity, and you have to seize the right fucking time. So like,
Yeah.
men have to always be on their fucking jocks. So like, if you aren't, and you may be on it at the right fucking time to at least get that interest, but she may not be on like the most receptive route. But what's going to happen is a few weeks later she'll be with some fucking guy anyway. So it's like
Yeah, because
you just weren't the
honestly-
guy. And no matter what they say, that they're not ready for anything. You just really what was happening is you weren't the guy.
Yeah, that
They
is
never
also
fucking
girl
tell
to
you the
girl.
truth.
Each girl is their own case. Some might take a week, some
Yeah.
might take a month or a year or something like that.
Yeah,
it
got
really
that.
just depends.
Yeah.
It makes me want to.
Everybody has their hoe phase.
question what my ex is doing right now, but I like one of the things is like with her is she's a batshit crazy individual, and
Interesting.
I'm not necessarily like concerned with the kind of shit that she's getting up to, because I know she's probably found somebody else who can, you know, go through like the same motions that I did, I guess, and give her the same kind of fulfillment. But what I'm looking for is just some pussy.
Consistently from the same person.
Yeah, that not even that. You know, someone is clean.
On a regularish basis.
No. I'm just looking for it again, and then
Like just a once. Well, like one time will be okay for you for like a while.
yeah. One time and I'll be good for a good bit, and then we'll see. Like
That's some different goals in mind.
if she's a cool person, bro, I'll you know continue some sort of conversation.
Here's the thing, because
Here we go.
It pisses me off. Yeah, here we fucking go.
Here we go.
It pisses me off because you try to be genuine and it doesn't fucking work. But if you just start slaying hoes, to put it in more generational terms, really that's the fucking best way to do it, is just go through women until you find that person that's like, well, sex is good, but you've also got some other traits that I
That's
like too.
true, dude.
It seems like being a hoe is the only fucking way to like actually like, because at least when
Yeah.
you're being a hoe, you're going through like you're trying different things, but it's like,
But throughout
you just
being
start
a
out with a bad like you start out with like the wrong intention. It seems like
Yeah, but throughout being a hoe, you're being yourself. You're going at your own pace. If you go at your own pace and you are entirely yourself, then you're not necessarily gonna give up your own sort of moralistic ideals, and eventually you're gonna find someone who meshes with that.
Oh Lord, it almost happened again.
Yeah, it almost did, bro. All this hoe talk is getting me going.
I'm telling you, it makes you gaseous.
Certainly does.
Like a fucking gas giant, like a fucking Jupiter beyond the fucking asteroid belt. You know, those big fucking gas giants. They got the Jupiter, the Saturn.
Big goobers
You got
give
the
big
Uranus, you
gobbers.
got the Neptune, the Uranus with the fucking fucked up kind of, you know, poles, you know.
Yeah, they just recently said something about Neptune is not the color we always thought it was.
It's not
Turns
blue.
out it's a lighter blue than the blue we thought.
It's crazy how, like, Uranus is like, it's crazy how we can really get close to that. Like,
My anus is big.
yeah,
Bro. You can get real close.
Uranus
to it.
is huge.
Absolutely.
It's a huge,
Thanks,
like,
man.
you have, like, Uranus is huge.
But yeah, no, I mean, women ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. Lick on these nuts and
Lord.
sucking dick.
I try not to become cynical, but it's like when like women always say, you know, men are trash, which is we all agree is a cynical. Like because we're men, we're young men.
We also have our
no,
own
that's not
cynical
true.
sayings equivalent to that.
The
Bitches
game
ain't shit.
The game makes you frustrated.
Fuck women, get money.
It makes you
Same type of
frustrated.
shit. Yeah, we all get frustrated, and it's a matter of like not the grieving process, but it's a matter of
The
how we
growing.
reciprocate those feelings. And then whenever something doesn't go our way, it's how do we cope with those feelings of
It's a
loss
lesson
and
learned
rejection.
each time.
Yeah,
If you
And-
take time.
yeah, and I think you did it in a healthy way. You know, I think that it's a fun time to have as long as you're having fun. Basically, you know.
You got to go through it.
Yeah, you got to go through it, and then you'll come out the other side a stronger man.
I mean, you got to go through the storm to get the shrimp.
Oh, that's
Most
true.
Generic sounding message. What?
So what's
Yeah,
going on with you, Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan,
How
you've been quiet this whole time. What do you think about all those
What you
things
think
we
about
just
women?
We're spewing out just now, this second here?
How many women have you killed within the past 3
44
months?
at least. 44 bars.
I'm at 12.
What kind of question is that?
A reasonable one. God damn
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I personally don't really believe I don't really agree with the idea of hookup culture. I think that's kind of part of the
neither.
reason why we have such issues maintaining relationships to begin with, because the expectations going into the relationship is sex. And sex can become easily leverageable.
Yeah.
You have one side.
That's why you can't let yourself become a victim or a victim.
It doesn't matter
Of sex.
You will eventually,
That happened-
if you
that
go
happened to me
into
one
if you
time.
go into it with it, then you are much more liable to become a victim of it. But regardless, the outcome usually is never positive because you're going into it with an intention of instant gratification. Instant gratification, once it's met, usually leads to I'm moving on to something else because I got what I
Right.
wanted
That's
now.
the
That's
end of the
true,
learning.
yeah.
So-
that's the end of the learning. you know?
Exactly. There is no growth. You just rinse and repeat
You don't learn how to
until
handle it. You don't-
you
that's not-
eventually change your mindset. So
Well, that's what's frustrating because, like, you know, when I first started, and I find it's funny, when I first started, like trying to date, you know, I was kind of a late bloomer. I am in a lot of ways, but when I first started trying to date, like it was basically the beginning of 2022. You know, before that I had some fuck ups, and it's like it just seems like before that it was like damn, only way I'm gonna get women is by like having sex with them. It seems like that's all they want. So I just said fuck it, I'll give up because I waited until pretty late to lose my virginity. So I was like, fuck it, I'm tired of saving it for someone who gives a shit about me. I'm just gonna fucking do it. And then I did it, and then I was able to get more women. But then I was like, damn, this kind of sucks. I want something real. So I made a complete fucking full circle turnaround, and then I tried to like do real shit again. And then I realized like, god damn, no wonder I fucking just said fuck it, I'm just gonna have sex, because like that's the only way to fucking like make any progress. Because it's like, I mean, you don't learn anything in hookup culture. You don't learn how to like, I mean, you learn like how to flirt and like, you know, whatever, like how to be saucy, but like you don't.
You have no idea how to
you don't learn how to develop a relationship.
Exactly.
And it's like, here I am. It's like I never knew it from the start, and I didn't learn it from having sex. And now I'm trying to fucking do it, and it's like, god damn it.
All you really know how to do.
When I really fucking try for once to fucking do something real, it's like, god damn it, it just doesn't happen to work out. It's like, it's frustrating.
And it's like the only thing.
You're lucky that you didn't have to go through years of that kind of shit and get into marriage.
I figured it out in 6 months.
Yeah, but even
that's
with
all you
that,
need, dude.
I figured it out
Like,
in 6 fucking months.
The only
Exactly.
thing a lot of people seem to really know is how to eventually have sex. Nobody knows how to communicate and have a healthy relationship.
Right.
And that's because all we know is how to do the work to get that instant pleasure that we want for that one little moment, because we are horny and we like to think with, you know, our other head as opposed to the other head. Because I feel like, I was talking to Clay about this one time, but I feel like people that kind of peak in high school, the people that are more focused on women, you know, and they spend their time figuring out how to flirt with women.
right, yeah. Because that's
And
their
many-
experience back
yeah.
in high school. They're
And
chasing
they don't
a
work on
high.
their character. They don't work on
They
their
don't
craft.
work on their character
They go-
development,
Everything
skills.
they do is to impress women.
Everything they do is to lose their virginity, is to sleep with a woman. That is their end game. To
And they
lose their
become a
virginity.
slave to that their whole life.
Exactly. Exactly. And so then the people that are pursuing women, possibly, who knows, but they're focused on other things as well. They develop skill. They go off and they do other things, and they actually develop in the future. The person that's always constantly thinking about the now and how I can pleasure myself now usually ends up not going anywhere.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean,
they
that's
don't.
generalization. No.
I feel like I can relate, sort of.
Yeah, no, I feel like I can relate to that.
But that's
as
just
well.
my opinion.
No,
That's just
I
my
mean
two
that is a true statement that people who are like constantly pursuing the same type of pleasure wind up falling into a cycle that they can't break from.
Because it's just instant
because it
gratification.
becomes- yeah,
It becomes an addiction rather than like an actual like meaningful. And so like I come into it wanting something meaningful, I give up on it, and then I come back again to like I need something meaningful, and then I'm back at the situation again where it's like, god damn, it's like, is there even a fucking point? It makes you like feel like, I don't know if it's today's world or if it's just because I haven't been through enough bullshit. It feels like kind of like love is dead.
Right.
Or maybe I didn't bloom early enough to where I could get that experience in, because I never did have any like real long-term dating. So now I feel like I'm kind of like fucked, because like women are having all these long-term relationships because it's just easier for them, to tell you the truth, you know? So it's just easier for them, and it's like you come in there and you have very little experience, and you feel like, god damn, like how am I ever going to catch up to this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Some motherfucker.
It's
Still up. Yeah.
And it's like, yes, the idea is that, man, people have been doing whatever they've been doing for the longest time. And especially
Everybody's
when you add in the fact that majority of the people, no offense people, but it's the truth, have
Fucking
been doing it incorrectly. So now it's like when you try to enter the field and you're trying to navigate it, you now have to also navigate with people that have had these negative experiences, because neither party
Now you're
knew
dealing
how
with
to
their
communicate
bullshit
properly. Exactly.
that they got from other people's bullshit.
And so now you're coming in very perceptive because you're fresh, whatever that means. And you're coming into this and you're willing to listen, but there's a lot more layers than you recognize.
That's what.
And
That's what's frustrating to me, is because like I come to a point where it's like I understand, like, you know, to really be in this, you have to make yourself, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and be allowed to fucking go through bullshit. And it's like I've
Yeah, you
realized,
gotta have humility and the
and
ability
I've realized that I'm willing
to
to
be
make
made fun of,
compromises.
kind of, you know.
I'm willing to make compromises. I'm willing to be vulnerable. I'm willing to fucking expose myself. I'm willing to like learn and grow with the person.
Right.
But then you come to find most people still aren't at that level yet, and that's what's
Yeah.
frustrating. Is like, I've taken the time to get to that level of maturity. It's like it seems like nobody else fucking has. It's so difficult.
I was
That's
especially
the same reason that I had to
the
bring
in-
up my ex too, because she was just at a complete like I said, she was insane, but she had these certain things that vulnerabilities that if you like poke or prod at, she'll question it and whatnot. I feel like I taught her like a good few like lessons and whatnot, but at the end of the day,
Teacher Barter.
she was too far gone, bro.
Professor
And as
Barter.
J. Cole said, "Don't save her. She don't want to be saved."
Don't save her.
That's
wanna
that's such a
be
true
saved.
bar right
One
there.
thing that I've
is that
kind
some
of
people don't want to be saved.
learned that's so sad, and it extends far beyond just relationships. But so many people will be so quick to tell you what you need to work on, what you need to fix, where your imperfections are.
That's true.
And you, whether it's how you've become, how you've been raised, whatever, you tend to listen. You take the step back, to take the criticism, so that you can become a better individual, so that you can be more informed.
Do you feel like
But,
you feel like you tend to like? I feel like for me, I tend to notice someone's like good sides. Other people tend to notice my bad sides.
Yes.
I feel like I point out like what I like about them. They point out what they don't like about me.
Yeah.
It's like there's an issue on both sides there. Like I'm being too optimistic. You're being too pessimistic. Like maybe we should both be more realistic.
Right. I'll take the time to, I'm not going to point out your imperfections, what you need to work on. I'm going to point out your positives and try to,
So you got to do it first.
But
That's how
you
develop something.
only seem to point out all of my imperfections. Any little slip up that I have, you poke at it. Any little mess up, you. But in that same turn, they also act as if they have no room for improvement. They're perfect. You need to fix
Yeah.
yourself. But any sort of issue that they may have that you try to bring to light is now they're very defensive. It's how
Yeah.
dare
It's
you?
irritating
what?
because you're willing to make the compromise. You're willing to fucking expose yourself to them, and
That's whenever you have to
and they're
go
not
on
willing
attack.
to fucking do that too.
You have to at those certain moments. You have to go on attack
With
and-
a,
of
with a
course.
spear and a bow and arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And,
a knife.
you put all these things
Interesting.
out.
And like a
You
Molotov
come with
cocktail.
receipts and
Okay,
you say
well,
you did
more
this,
items.
and this. So like, why doesn't that count as what you're doing right now? And either they say, "Oh, I understand what you're saying," or they are so against it what you're saying, or maybe you're wrong. One of those. And that's whenever you have to take off the "I want to fuck" pants and put on the smart pants and say,
Okay, so I know.
"Look,
Why not
this
waste
is
this fucking time
what they're
anymore?
saying right here. Am I wrong in this situation?" And once you get to that point, you're like, "Oh, I'm either wrong in this situation or I'm actually right in this situation." And what they're saying goes against what is right. At that point, whenever you, fuck yeah,
I mean, you got to have humility.
I think that-
to
I
be
think
able
that comes
to,
across
to
right.
grow. Yeah, you got to
Right.
have humility to grow. And I mean,
That's true.
Your train getting derailed just derailed my train. But like,
Yeah.
if you don't have the fucking humility, I mean, you're not gonna fucking go anywhere. Someone's got to be willing to be, like, okay, I'm wanting to work on this. Like Jordan said, with like, you think you're fucking perfect.
right, yeah.
We're all fucked up. Like, I'm in here to fucking figure out what the hell I can do to improve. That's like, I
Yeah.
want the experience, even if it seems like, okay, it's not a match made in heaven, even though, like, I don't think it's a waste of my time to at least fucking try. Right?
No,
like,
not at all.
I want the experience.
It actually takes no time.
Like
with
nobody
dating
here,
apps.
nobody
You
here has had
spend
enough
5 minutes
experience.
swiping. You spend less than 5 minutes swiping, and you're done. Like it takes no time to like actually like put into a sort of conversation and like talking with women. It's just a matter of if they respond to you, and you take like 5 seconds to respond. You don't take like any time to respond to a woman or really anybody.
You
be
can't
honest.
afford to.
unless you.
There's
like,
100 other guys in their DMs. You can't afford.
It's not even about that. It's like you don't take time to respond to anybody, and that's not entirely true. Because I take time to respond to like you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
like,
but we already have an understanding.
yeah. But the
Like
thing
first
is,
impressions, they've got other people that are fucking making impressions on them too. You kind of do.
Jesus Christ.
You just can't keep that in your hands.
Butterfingers. I'm contemplating ideas. But yeah, you're right, dude. You can't really take time because there are other people in their DMs and whatnot. A lot of people who are trying to, because if they're on
there's
the
that
apps, they're
competitive
looking for
factor.
other options as well. And at the same time, I'm also looking for other options. So each one that you put out, each message that you send out, you've got to make sure that it's entirely yourself. Dropped it again. And if you're not entirely yourself whenever you are talking to anybody really, then what's the point of going further with any sort of conversation or relationships whatsoever? Because it gets to a certain point that if you're not yourself and you get, to the dating stage and you're going out and whatnot, then you have to reveal who you are and whatnot. But if yourself
The boogeyman.
has already been laid bare in front of them the entire time, then they already have an understanding of you, and you can still be mysterious. Like a lot of people go for the mysterious
The
option.
problem with online dating,
People are just mysterious in general. Yeah.
the problem with online dating is there is a very big discrepancy with communicating through phone.
Yes.
There's just
Yeah,
something
the-
like humans are social creatures.
We're supposed to be
at the end of the
face-to-face
day.
rather
Face-to-face
than in
interaction is a
person.
It
huge
becomes more
component.
strategic online.
What-
You
Yeah,
have
and
to
that's the
like,
problem too.
cheating.
Online also can lead to a lot of interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, you can in person too, but online, like you see a couple of pictures, they're the highlights. The problem is people don't look at it from that perspective. Online, it's the highlights. You're not going to post
That's
a picture
true.
that you don't think looks good. You're not going to put information that people wouldn't
Yeah.
want to know about you. You're going to list your best features, your quality. It's a resume. It's like you're applying for a job.
can't-
That's true.
And so
That
from
is
that
extra
perspective,
true.
think about it from the perspective of jobs.
You can't
don't-
tell them you're racist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't tell
nah.
them that you don't tell them all your negative qualities. Maybe you're racist. I don't know. But the point is that that's what's wrong with online. So it leads the mind to a potential false reality, and then both sides, but depending on the time of day, one side may have a more imaginative, fantasy, and they build up this false reality in their mind, which just you create these expectations that can never be met.
And whenever
And so
they're
now-
not met, and she goes, "What?" You go, "What do you mean, bitch? Like, fuck you mean?" She goes, "Oh, I thought you were like this way or something." It's like, "Nah, dude, I'm about this." Like, it's one of those things. Like, whenever you build up a certain like repertoire, you got to be aware of the kind of persona that you're building, and kind of move around that with the woman that you're talking to at that point.
That's not
Is it painful?
specific.
Is it painful how fucking strategic that it seems like you have to almost like be a fake person? Like,
No, you
it's
don't
the
have to
same-
be a fake person.
It's the same like advancing in like a career or a job. Like like with a woman, like you have to give them your best first impression.
Right.
And I mean, there's also like the perspective that
Well, it's
you
like
know,
set up punchline.
well, there's the perspective that you should be the person that attracts them to begin with, and you should become that person, and you should like seek
Right.
to be that person that women want to sleep with. Like it's not enough.
Why
to just,
should you be that person instead of yourself?
Well,
Because here's the
you're
problem. You gotta think about it from this perspective.
Hold on, you're
Oh,
not,
yeah, go ahead.
You're not perfect. Like you realize like early on you have to.
That's why you don't-
You have to be better. Like you who you are. Like it should be separate from like who you need to become. You have your core qualities. If you aren't willing to evolve and become a better person with some of those qualities,
Then
I mean,
what's the point?
because you got some dead fucking wood. You got some parts of you are not so perfect. Like
Right,
you know,
right.
you give people the best impression of you because that's who you really should become to begin with. Being yourself is not enough because who you are is not enough because who you are at all times is not what you should be because you're always on track to become something better. You can't be satisfied with who you are at any one point in time. You have to
Yeah.
be willing to fucking like who you are. Like I think essentially should be your great qualities plus your willingness and your wanting to expand upon that and become better as a basis of a person.
Yeah. So people have internal monologues. Some people don't, but people have internal monologues.
Mine sounds like oogla boogla
Yeah,
oogla
no,
shloogla, like, all day long.
I definitely got it. But whenever I'm like locked in on certain things, say I'm watching Superman 2, and
Sometimes you just gotta lock in.
you got to lock in on Superman 2 every once in a while and be like, hey, maybe I should be a little bit more like Clark Kent, but less of the pussy guy and more of the I'm a stand up for what's right type of guy.
Yeah,
that
not
kind of
sell
thing.
my fucking
Like that.
powers for some jizz time, you know.
You can absorb traits
Jizz
through
time, yeah.
media, but like whenever you're watching media, what's happening, that information's going into your brain, and then your own internal
messaging.
monologue is responding and having a conversation
You mirror
with
that
the
with
information
yourself.
that's coming into your brain, and you mirror that. You see yourself in those person's shoes, and you go, "Oh, I'm going to do this." But whenever the person in the movie doesn't do that, then you have a criticism of that movie. That's where movie criticism comes
That's like,
from.
well, characters are imperfect because
And
it's
that's-
like you identify with the character and like you see how you identify with them is like, okay, we got something to. That's why fucking anti-heroes are so there's so much
because
appeal
they reflect us more than perfect superheroes.
It's a
or
flawed person
something.
who wants to do right.
Yeah.
We're all flawed people. Most of us want to do right and have a good time. I guess that's the main appeal there. But I mean, you
Basically,
project
I am
yourself.
Ryan Gosling. I am Ryan Gosling.
You're literally Ryan
in
Gosling.
a lot of ways.
I'm giving you a night call to tell you how I feel.
and I'm going to take you on a drive through a night crawl, and we're gonna. That was Jake
in the
Gyllenhaal
hill.
in Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
but
that-
same scenario,
movie.
But like same thing. He's basically me.
Literally, man.
All
And Jake Gyllenhaal can play a fucking psychopath.
He
In that
can,
movie, he
bro.
plays basically a
Absolutely.
psychopath. He is. I feel like a lot of actors are really good at playing psychopaths. And I'm going to be honest right now with you about everything, right?
Yeah.
Both of you. I've had to take a piss for like the last 40 minutes.
I've been for past 30. I've been needing one.
Do you think we're getting there?
Yeah,
We kind of spurred off pretty hard. Do you have any
I-
more questions you want to ask?
Yeah, no. Movie criticism is a reflection of us and the brain and the mind. I might.
Yeah,
Split this
okay,
up into
but see, what
Yeah,
you just
okay,
said
go
with
on.
that was I was going to get into is that honestly is a huge problem. Because the same way that you say you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
Clark Kent and you're like, oh, yeah, he does this and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
The social media, the contents or whatever that you consume, that over time can have an influence depending on what you criticize or what you agree with. When you start to look at the media that is constantly portrayed, the media that, we may consume versus what women may consume.
Right.
The constant cycle of what they watch begins to become their mindset.
That's true.
And so when you watch things like reality TV show 24/7 that gives off this facade of this sort of reality, it gives off these sort of this false, beliefs.
But are we watching reality TV or are we watching good stories with good morals at the base of it all? And that
What
comes
are
down
you
to
talking about?
I'm asking between like me and you, the media that we consume, do we think is good quality media? Say I listen to a lot of Kendrick Lamar, right? And I think that he has good morals and good ideas that should be perpetuated throughout media. But like you
What are you
said,
talking? That's not what I was talking about.
like you said, reality TV. I'm kind of on the same tangent. I think I'm on the same tangent.
Well, you
as
said,
you are.
what are we watching is reality TV? No, because I
Me-
wasn't
like,
talking
as
about what
me and
and
you
you
as a person,
No,
yeah.
that's not what I was talking about though. I'm
Yeah.
talking about what like women would consume.
Yeah,
I'm
reality
saying how
TV and
what
stuff
they
like that.
consume
Like,
can
meeting up with the
conflict.
Kardashians. and
Yes,
shit like
because
that.
what they
Real
consume-
Housewives of Atlanta,
Or what some guys consume too. Like some guys do consume reality TV
and
as well.
I'm a victim to that as well. I watch a lot of not reality TV. I do not watch reality TV, but I do watch some bullshit that is not perpetuating good moral ideas, basically. But I'm sure you probably do some similar stuff. I'll listen to some artists saying, "Oh, I'm a fuck a bitch, I'm a kill dude, and I'm gonna do all this," and I'll be like, "That's kind of Playboy Cardi," I'll listen to that, and I'll be like, that kind of bops and whatnot. And while I don't necessarily moralistically line up with Playboy Cardi, I will say, his music sounds good, and so I'll listen to that.
How did we get on
and I'm
Playboy
sure there's
Cardi?
like some things that you don't necessarily indulge in that are of the same, it's not that you shouldn't be listening to that because it's moralistically bad.
Carter,
But
where
it
are we
sounds
going?
good. I'm trying to follow you.
We were on reality TV shows, and now you're talking about
Okay,
Playboy
okay.
When
Cardi.
you guys get on
We'll go
reality TV shows?
yeah.
Because, I was trying to talk
Like,
about
right
the
after I
idea.
left?
He was talking about how what you consume, like with Superman, like Clark Kent, and how he acts can, play into your mindset. And I was saying, well, depending on what kind of content you consume, that can influence your mindset.
Yeah, you project
in terms of like TV.
It's
and
like how
visuals.
that watch like the Kardashians or whatever. Like you're gonna
Kardashians.
you're gonna project yourself onto this fake piece of shit, fucking plastic ass bitch. But it's like there's nothing real about that life. Like it's like idolizing an influencer.
Yeah,
like
it's all a
you
facade.
can't idolize an influencer because they're living an unrealistic like fantasy. You don't have that life because you weren't born rich, and you haven't like achieved that level of success. It's ridiculous. Like
And-
you don't fucking live that high school fucking fantasy fucking world.
And when you're constantly consuming media like that, the people that you're watching live so unrealistically, like wealthy. Lavish, yes, that everything that they complain about is the slightest of inconveniences because they're able to have anything.
I don't
at a
like how
moment's
pickle
whim.
jars like open a certain way.
And when you
know?
consume that content over and over and over, you begin to reflect what you watch. And so we begin to complain about the simplest things because all we watch is people complaining about the simplest things.
And you are like you're acting like a person who like who is like economically like in 10 classes higher than you.
Yeah.
And it's like
You don't have the
you
financials
acting
to
like
act
a
as
less
such.
humble person in a place in society where you have to be more humble to thrive. You cannot act like a billionaire when you like make $40,000 a year. Everyone's gonna think you're an asshole. Like you can't just jump to being like that person by
people need to-
acting
yeah.
like him. It isn't always as simple as fake it till you make it. At least in that fucking
You need
like,
to have something to back it up at some point.
yeah, like at least those people, that are way up there, at least they've they've figured out something smart or they have the resources. Like they sort of have the right to be obnoxious and like dickheads, Like if we're just being obnoxious dickheads at this level, like we're just being obnoxious fucking dickheads,
Yeah.
It's fun.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm back.
You're back.
We could
Very awkward.
I
Awkward re-entering there. You did. Like you're like a certain Russian,
I was Russian to
rocket
get
that
back up
came
here.
that tried to re-enter. It re-entered very harshly. All the cosmonauts died. I forget which one it was.
The Cosmo.
It was
Wanda?
one of the cosmonaut crews that did not re-enter very well.
Leica, the dog.
No, I don't think she was meant to come back.
They never were, and all the monkeys that they sent up, they weren't. They
Well,
weren't supposed to come
Americans
back or
brought
anything.
back their animals at least.
I mean,
The
did
Russians,
they?
the Russians kind of like.
But what
okay,
about the ones that we don't know about?
I'm sure there's some more. Some
There's
more.
plenty of them. I'm down to keep talking about reality TV. We can also what is this?
You're,
we're
honestly,
at
you're gonna have to
219
cut
right
this
now.
into 2 parts at this point.
We are gonna put this into 2 parts.
Yeah.
This
Like
is.
after the piss break. I mean,
I think
like,
the
Yeah.
first piss
the
break we
first-
might put up on the Patreon. I'm gonna start a Patreon that everybody can give us $25 a month
God,
starting.
what
yeah,
the hell?
I would check the.
we have 5 listeners.
I would check the
monthly.
audio around the 215 mark if I were you. I saw something around the 215 mark that's kind of interesting. I think you probably ought to check that out.
I got you. We'll take a look at that. So yeah, should we can end it. Let's end it here.
Well, what's our? We're gonna have do we have an outro song? Do we have like a tradition yet? We
do
don't
have
have
a
an ending
song.
tradition yet. We got to work on the ending tradition.
I do have a song that I was thinking about putting as the intro,
Copyright
and
free?
I'll play it to you guys after this because I don't got the speakers on right now.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, no, I've got
Jesus
something that we
Christ.
can put on. I'll show you guys after that. But yeah,
Our
no,
Lord and
this has
Savior's
been.
name.
I'm
Amen.
Carter. JD once again has got a
All right.
album coming out next week.
Yes, sir.
As long as
Tomorrow,
a
probably.
single dropping
We gotta
right
get
now.
these names figured out. We can't keep just flip flopping names.
Jordan,
we gotta pick
JD.
one. No, Frick.
J.
Nigga,
Jordan.
dang.
J.
I mean, I'm
Jordan.
Carter. That's me.
Joe Dan. Joe Dan. We got Carter.
Yeah,
We
Joe
got the main man here, Carter. He makes all this happen. Want to thank him for being on the show.
Thank you.
Jordan, our featured artist. Definitely one of our better hosts. One of the top 2 hosts above myself. Jordan, always making beautiful art. I would recommend checking out his everything. Follow JD Beats on Instagram.
JD Beats Instagram. JD Beats
follow
Spotify.
JD on
How can I
Apple.
find anything
Apple
on
and
JD Beats
SoundCloud.
on Instagram?
Apple Music.
Well, whatever. Follow him on SoundCloud and Spotify and
SoundCloud.
Apple Music. You find him at JD. Search for his albums. Search for
Make
Ethereal.
sure you look for
Why are you
Renegade.
What is
Make sure you look for
definitely
Summer.
Summertime Feel. That's a
Summertime
good one.
Feel.
You-
I like
that
that
was-
song.
that's the
Yeah,
kind of
good
shit you got to look for. But that shit, this man is bopping. He's about to make some more
It's on the way,
boppins.
it's on the way.
And then you got myself. I'm a fat ginger here with like that likes to talk a
don't know
lot
if I'd say
apparently
fat,
at this
but
point in
alright.
time. So
Not that fat.
Very
You,
descriptive.
you can't
Okay.
Clay. You can't claim fat anymore. You've
on.
grown out of it.
I feel like I'm growing, out of my pants more these
Nah.
days.
Just do push-ups.
I'm going to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a process. Don't worry.
Is my outro? Is that good enough? Do I,
That was a great outro, actually. That was
All
a great
right,
outro.
so we'll
I'll
cut.
leave it.
Appreciate
I'm the
y'all.
fat ginger, and that's it.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
Hot podcast.
Roll
That was
Tide.
Such a back.
That was the
That's
weakest
it.
clap.